trade. I only have 12% left. So a bunch of outs. I mean, we wanted this out right there at 585. So we're lucky to take a bunch of outs there at 585. So an absolutely monster play there. There's a lot of breaking news. We got to go back to Adair. Neil and I'll see you back at 2 p.m. Go Adair and get him.
Circle just dropped sharply here. Wall Street Journal reporting that banks are moving forward with a global stablecoin consortium, according to unnamed sources. So that would be a bit potentially of a rough look here for CRCL. Again, stablecoin producer. So we've got banks moving forward with global stablecoin consortium per the Wall Street Journal. Over to Joe and over to Obi. It's the Joby midday. That pun's moving.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Mike. Guess what day it is? Oh, all right, we'll do that right there. A little good Toronto slap up there.
Yeah.
Man, we'll let some people roll in here. We're going to roll into VinFast momentarily, but Assassino, we want to give a couple of shout-outs first and foremost. Let's head over to TikTok and see what we got going on. Bravely, good morning, and thank you for the kind messages each and every day. We got Ron. Yep, Ronnie, what's going on? Danger, Carlene. We have Juan, 728. As a man thinketh, J. Doe Daddy, Sunflowers Flowering, Charles Tolliver, no relations to Dawn, Hilda, Thomas, Kendrick, Lambitioner, I don't even know what that means, Kim Jong-un, B. Kratos, we got Jose Garcia. Where's my guy? Where's Frankie? There's T-Rock, and then there's Runes. We got Nickel, Dragon Fluff, and Chicken Stuff. We'll head over to YouTube and see what we got going on over there. We got Juan Padilla in the house, glass half full. Dawn getting it going here as well too. We have Los Polios, my guy Gorev, Derek Thompson, Wendy's, Tendy's, Jody, what's going on? Nima, what's up? How's everyone doing this morning? Now one more, Obi. Yes, Andrew Chow, G-Talk, and Nick Vendy. What's going on, my brother? Nicky, what's cooking, brother? No, all right, guys, a lot going on here, but first and foremost, we're gonna get right into VinFast. Reported strong Q2 momentum, delivering more than 70,000 EVs globally, up 96% year over year. First half deliveries reached nearly 129,000 vehicles, up 78%, reinforcing the company's growth trajectory across its expanding EV portfolio. By mid-year, VinFast had already achieved approximately 43% of both its 2026 4W and 2W delivery targets, putting the company firmly on track across both growth engines. All right, that's enough of me rambling on for the past 120 seconds. We're going to send it over to Obi to see what he's got going on here today. And then we're going to talk a little bit about a little bit of a mess that we got ourselves into bright and early this morning, trading the NASDAQ off of the PCE print. Stick with us. Obi, what do you got?
Right now, I am going in and trying to borrow some of this Circle stock here. So thank you for that fresh news there. 91s all the way down to 88s. I'm like, all right, game on. I do like the move here on Circle. So being as quick as possible. Seriously, I always forget whether it trades on the NYSE, right? Yeah, there you go. Come on, I should know this by now. Circle NY, how many of those do I need? Let's just grab this many and boom, submit. It's a little bit of a process
what do you got going on?
Borrow some of these shares. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, so yeah, not too bad. Less than 10 pennies per lot. So yeah, not too bad at all. So okay, let's see what the Circle is up to here. Maybe I should have borrowed a lot more. I didn't realize it's below $100 here. So Circle.ny, fresh news, bank, something with the banks. Let's see what the book is up to here. Some sellers stepping right back in. 87.5 is the low of the move there on CRCL. Let's see if we can trade a little bit lower here. Fresh news, we did get a bounce up into that 89.5 and sellers step right back in. So I like it for the potential continuation. Is the trend on? The trend technically, as of right now, post-catalyst, is to the downside. We'll see if there is any real continuation below this reaction low here, 87.5. That's what I'm looking for here. Also in, yeah, I don't know. I think the position board is incorrect here. Not my account there.
You got to make
what's that? Oh, yeah, it'll update once I get in or out of a position here. Well, you guys can see I have some DKS on my screen right here, getting involved with a little bit of a potential pullback. Nike was the real one to get involved with for the short side, as that one came in much nicer, but that slowed down now as well. 87.5s holding pretty well here on a circle. Still need a little bit more for that potential continuation. Again, if I could get shorts right away, and I can get short at 89.5s, I would totally do that. I like the short at 89.5 much better probably on a tape turn for a pullback in to see if we can actually break the low. Down here, I don't really feel too comfortable chasing, so that's not really my my piece to take right now. So we'll wait and see how that circle forms. Right now, Palantir, I like this one right here. Oh boy, PLTR. Let's pull this one up real quick. Boom, boom, boom. NASDAQ. I like that. That's already coming in, breaking below that 175. So a bit of a chase here for me. I like it much better on the 175 break, but if I'm going to chase in 174s, we talked about this yesterday, got to be sizing a lot better on this one. Take a look at this beautiful pattern right here. Break of trend, consolidation on the 75. I smell a bit of a reversion, guys, but I'm already about 60, 70 pennies too late. So, you know, it is what it is. I got to throw VWAP on here as well. I don't know where VWAP is, but it's probably sitting in and around 173s. Yeah, I have it around 173.50s-ish. Okay, so about $1 lower. So we'll see if that one will come into fruition, but miss the entry there on that 175. Pretty clean, man. And when you look at this on like higher time frame, you can see back-to-back jacks on the green candles right here, straight off of open on Palantir. And as soon as that trend breaks, we drop down $2. So I like that. I like that piece. Took a nice piece of reversion yesterday as well on Palantir. Let's see if we can do it once again here on a Wednesday. A little bit of a hump day here.
Oh,
how's your day going?
You know what? Full transparency. This is what we do around these neck of the woods. Is we keep it real. Now, yesterday, not too bad of a day, right? Like right out of the gate, we were taking some nice scalps. Not necessarily the case here today. We'll get into meta momentarily because I've been pounding the table about this for quite some time, and I think this is a key inflection point for the company. Even though the price action may not be reflecting it at this very moment, I do believe in the future we'll see things start to turn around, and it could be a massive weight lifted off the company's shoulders. In my opinion, could I be wrong? Completely subjective, yes, but I've seen something along those lines before in which I will use the example of why I believe that we can start to see a little bit of appreciation within the underlying asset. Now, right out of the gate, PCE, we decide to sell off here, ladies and gentlemen. Attempt number one. Oh, no good. Good thing we went relatively small on that one. Second one, we're like, all right, let's add 50% more to our position. Get stopped out, break even. It did go on a little bit of a move, but I'm like, you know what? That's not what I'm looking for. Third attempt is when I actually add some more size. I'm like, okay, we've been holding this 69.49 level for quite some time. Let's see if we're going to bounce off of it and then find our way to recovery and maybe head into 69.70s. Not the case. Heads right back to the lower end of the range, and I'm like, oh no. And then sure enough, we get stopped out. Same thing here on the Qs. I'm like, all right, we come back. Maybe this is going to be the attempt in which we break. And then as soon as I seen the tape really start to pick up its momentum to the downside, I got out of that. So most definitely a tougher start in regards to the NASDAQ trading this morning off of those economic prints. And then now moving forward, METU. We'll get into some more detail. Dara's been bringing us a lot of the information bright and early this morning. We can touch on a couple of other things here as I go on, but a nice recovery. Los Pollos was right. Who else in the chat said, hey man, watch out for this fade? Because and listen, I'm not going to try to say this is any form of confirmation bias. Maybe I was leaning in that direction because this is something within the company's fundamentals that I've been looking for ever since this issue was ongoing. It's trading at a relatively cheap PE, but yet it's not participating. I understand there's the free cash flow effect within the company, how they've depleted that. They have this excess compute now that they're selling to other customers, but I think this is one of the larger weights that have been lifted off of the company's shoulders, which may allow investors to start to step right back in. Now, child safety settlement, we're looking at $16 billion. A Texas Attorney General secures over $1 billion in Texas. Meta Platforms proposed $10 billion Q3 charge and lawsuit settlement. So about $18 billion over 10 years these guys are going to have to pay. Listen, in the bigger picture, if there's been no regulatory change, which I think someone said maybe over, I think I heard Adair say over 18 is when you might have to, or when you have the ability to hop on unsupervised social media. But this is just a big slap on the wrist. And I've been pounding the table. Cash fine is the best case scenario for this company. And that's why down here, I might even buy a little bit more. Now I have a bunch of capital on the sidelines for the Anthropic IPO. But if I grab a little bit more of Meta here, and I've been talking about it for quite some time, I like this. Give it. Who knows? I'm not going to put a specific timeline, but at some point before you know it, this company will hit all-time highs. The CapEx, the capital expenditure thing, won't be one of the frontline stories. Mark Zuckerberg's open source models are definitely going to grab share, in my opinion. In the future, it may take a little bit more time than what we're expecting. But right now, I think there's a couple of tailwinds in favor of Meta, Obi. So that's how I feel about this name.
Yeah, no, I think they do have a lot of headwind to get over. We'll see if they can kind of get through that with any sort of effectiveness here. SOAR saying Paresh Patel in the chat. SOAR, I like that. I actually like that. That's those are actually my initials for my full name. You know.
What's that? Sorry.
SOAR is actually the initials for my full name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
So I always thought that was a bit fun there. Let's see what SOAR is up to. Volato Group. Okay, hello. What's a Volato Group up to today? Okay, some relative volume, some interesting move in the pre-market. Penny stock here is sub 50 pennies on this one here. So. All right, 34 breakdown, doing decent volume here. So nice call out here. Decent structure, nice little stair step up to the upside, but it seems like it's kind of rejecting in a similar place where it did off of the initial reaction in the pre-market, and I guess once again today in the afternoon in around this 32, 34 penny area. That's where supply has been stepping in. Let's see if that continues going on through the rest of the day. Kenny, thank you for the super chat there. Thoughts on OLOX, OLOX? Long? I don't know. I like the short there on that one there. OLOX, yeah, man. Look, this thing looks dead in the water right now. It had that initial reaction, but look at this. This thing is pretty much. You've heard me say this. This is breadcrumbs on a chart. Look at this. Barely any candle. Pretty much printing single prices here. Not a lot of volume. And then, yeah, you get a little bit of relative volume on the day today. But how much volume is that really? Let's see. About 10 million shares on a $1.50 stock. So, yeah, that's not that much. That's like 20 million, 30 million dollars worth of volume that went through this thing on the day. So yeah, maybe you have, and most of it probably happened right here. Let me highlight where most of it probably happened right there within 30 minutes. So most of that dollar volume all occurring within 30 minutes, and then boom, it's done. I don't know. For me, I think this is not nothing crazy here, but I guess it's been doing some things over the past couple of days. So all the power to you. Good luck if you're trading this. Not something that I'm really too concerned with, but that's just my own opinion here. Circle coming back below that $90. So we got all the way back, all the way up to VWAP. So I'm watching this pretty closely, right? I'm like, all right, 89, whatever's good place to get short. That's your anchored VWAP right there, the purple line. That's going to be significant to me. And if we're going to be shaking and baking around that line with a little bit of an orbit action, I'm not really too concerned with this. Give me some directionality. Give me a break of that range. Then we can start really talking here on that circle. But I do have my shares. I am very tempted to get involved with the short side, but I watched the tape for a little bit. This thing is crazy. Sure, it's only about $80, $89, but the swipes are like 50 to 70 pennies. So I can't even, I don't feel comfortable getting aggressive. I can obviously size down and still take the trade for what it's worth, but not really paying attention too closely to the book and the tape to feel comfortable doing that here, right now. So boom, where is the next trade? Let's check out the flow on the king of the castle. Nvidia saying King G. King of the castle, king of the castle. Nvidia double top highs today.
I have a chair. I have a chair.
Yeah, I have a chair. I have a chair. King of the castle. Classic. But double top on Nvidia was probably one of the most technically significant things that I observed coming in off of the open today. And yeah, a lot of reversions were in order off of this rejection. I really, really like this idea of a short, but Nvidia, a little bit choppy, right? If you got short off the initial push, it came all the way back to 213s before slamming right back in and sellers step into the market. So AMD, similar kind of stock in the same sector, I really, really like this reversion a lot better. A lot more directionality off of the open. Buyers very much in charge. And once they give that up, once we trade below whatever moving average you want to throw in here, however you want to define that trend line, moving average, higher highs, higher lows, whatever your definition of trend is, trend breaks around when we get back through this 488 level right here. Look at that prior structure low, boom, 487 halves, maybe confirmation for a lot of people being like, all right, now we actually broke below that low. And you can really see the price start to accelerate along with expanding volume as we break into and through VWAP at a clean 485. That's where that was. And then boom, for a low of 480. So I really, really like this reversion. The sell is coming in. You can see here on the market, we did kind of top out a little bit, but sideways action on the futures. So not really too concerned with watching the futures that closely as of right now, but I am watching individual names. SPCX, definitely one of them. Another one with a beautiful reversion today here, 139s as it comes in into and through VWAP. Haven't really broken through day low just yet. So today, at Oracle Catalyst coming, saying Caleb in the chat. Yeah, I don't know about that. Whether you know, if you know, that's probably insider information, but we'll wait and see if that will come into any reality. Right now, we're gonna go to Sia. What's up?
This is coming from Amazon here. SailPoint teams with AWS to lock down the AI agent boom, bringing identity security to Bedrock Agent Core. Amazon pulling back here a little bit. I'm just going to check SailPoint here. Yeah, sorry, that's the wrong stock. We're just going to take a look over here. Yeah, nothing too crazy of a move here for SailPoint, but for Amazon, a bit of a downtick. AMZN, SailPoint teaming with AWS to lock down the AI agent boom.
Yeah, so I pulled up Amazon here. There's a bit of a down movement. I mean, it's pretty choppy. NVDA moving to the downside as well, too, ladies and gentlemen, helping the market follow in correlation with these names. I mean, Google's down 1% on the intraday session, bounced off the lows, but looks like it might want to continue. Now, if we're looking at the intraday PA from what we have here, it's just consistent lower highs on NVDA. And I told you, the best case for me is that this stock goes south of $200. Now, even better case scenario is that we see this thing in the 180s, even in this area, 170s. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I don't believe that's going to be the case because I do believe it is an extremely powerful stock. But the more I get to buy up in these neck of the woods, this is almost a double top here. I mentioned this not too long ago that you have this whipsaw move, but this 230 marker just acting as big time issues, and we were actually discussing that via the options chain bright and early this morning, so go check out the options segment. But we'll head over to it once again. I had the strategy builder out. We are talking about potential strangles within this trade, specifically trying to just obtain some time value and capture some implied volatility premium priced in, Vega premium priced into your contracts. Now, if you're going to go with what history has been showing us over the past X amount of quarters, this is insane. So, Dawn, I don't know how you feel about it. Ozan, Travman for real in the chat. All of my, Jesse, I don't know if Jesse's still here. All of my options traders, what this is telling me right now, and this is some of the largest size I've seen via open interest since the last quarter it has reported, all right? So, what I'm getting at here is the probability, and we can even use our delta metric, the probability is saying yeah, we're most likely not going south or north of $230. 195,000 contracts. So someone massive is stepping in, and that's the beauty of the chain. Listen, Bookmap, I understand you like using your own tools to each their own, right? So what I've found is I've able to identify where we're going to have those massive amounts of supply, and that's lying right here at this $230 marker on NVDA. All right, keep that in mind. Now, where's the floor potentially? 190. There's 21,000, 197. So south of 200, if these 200 contracts don't hold up with 36,000 open and closed, I think it's really important to note. But what the options chain is telling us right now, Obi, it's going to be really, really difficult for us to exceed that $230 marker there. Don, let me know. My IBIT put spread timed well. Yeah, let's pull up some Bitcoin and see how that's been performing. A slight recovery on BM&R I see. I'm waiting for Meta to pull back into the volume-weighted average price to take an additional attempt. I have to be cautious just due to risk measures. Full disclosure, we took those losses earlier, so we have to be prepared and willing to call it a day. If the setup isn't there, it has to be an A++. I don't know why I pulled up Meta. I meant to pull up IBIT for you there, Don. A nice pullback here off of that $45 high. We went back to the options chain and correlate, doing the exact same thing. Different name is where are those supply zones sitting? And it's identical to what Bookmap is showing you. Go over to your Bookmap if you have it. You're going to see a mass amount within your heat map. You'll see a large size at this $45 marker. That's today's expiration, but see, look at that, $45, and it's been a world of trouble for the underlying to break that level. So good call out there, Don. NVDA supply 190 to 230 on supply. Yeah, exactly. 100% agree with you there, brother. 200, I did see a little bit more size on the put side, but that 230, it's like it sticks out like a sore thumb. And with that being said, I'm in the camp of us exceeding that. Is very, very low, 87% chance via our delta telling us here, our Greek metrics saying that contract does not have a high probability of expiring in the money after that report.
Yes, sir. So yeah, some people talking about some oil there. So I did pull up USO. Someone said something took something out on SpaceX. I'm watching SpaceX here. I do like the breakdown of a potential low here. Wow, a bit of a crumble on this USO chart. How much volume are we doing? Okay, only 1.5 million so far. Nothing too crazy just yet, but a bit of an uptrend. Selling off into the close yesterday. That was pretty interesting here. Some news coming out within the last 15 minutes of the close on USO there. And causing some selling coming in. I was honestly looking for a potential continuation into and through that 125 today, but you know, we don't really get that. 25 consolidates and we break back above for pretty much a reversion back to prices we haven't seen since about yesterday evening. So a bit of a you know, chop fest there within that range on USO. Palantir coming in here. I know I did say a bit of a chase, but I do like this when something gets so directional and then you pop into a prior area of supply. Where was this? This was yesterday, right? Just yesterday, we see that Palantir pretty sell heavy in and around these areas all week long. Monday, aggressive selling from 177s. And then Tuesday, once again, aggressive selling from 180s, 177s. Coming in today, we catch a bid, but we get up to 176s, and then sellers step right back in. So give or take a couple dollars, it seems like this is a bit of an area of supply this week so far with the limited information that's been printed on the chart. It does show that sellers have been stepping in on Palantir in and around those high 70s. So hopefully that's enough confluence to bring it back down into VWAP, which is sitting in and around 173.40s. I always like that higher time frame confluence when it comes to support and resistance levels. When I'm looking for potential reversions, that's always a very strong cherry on top, right? You're looking for a reversion when something's obviously overextended, and then it finds a base at a place where it's shown to find a base in the past, and even better if it's in the recent past, right? So you can use that, I guess, almost recency bias to your advantage that the stock might have with respect to a support or resistance level that it respected very recently. So I do like this right here. So I think the likelihood of VWAP at that point was a little bit higher than continuation. But where's the next trade? SpaceX, not really seeing anything too much here. I do like the breakdown, but again, I gotta be in this thing on the push up when that exhausts, when we kind of blow off here. Look at that strong volume candle on his 3-minute chart. Boom, all the way up into 139s, and then all of that pressure just boom dissipates, gone, poof, and then sellers step right back in. So that's what I really like. We talk about stalls and tape turns. If you guys know what I'm talking about, it's where you have aggressive action on the tape where you have buyers, and that's probably what the SpaceX looked like for a good 15, 20 minutes. Buyers, all the way up to 139s with strong volume, and then all of a sudden that buying pretty much dissipates. The tape doesn't show as much green on it anymore. It's a lot more red because I have it set up as buyers hitting the offer is green, sellers hitting the bid is red. So that can visually show you some real-time sentiment while all the crazy transactions are ongoing there as well. So anyways, so that's a bit of a tape turn explanation. So that's what I'm looking for here, or that's what I would have been looking for if I was involved in that SpaceX. But around here, not anything too crazy. Palantir 174 finally breaking down, so it does seem much more likely
for some small cap names here, Obi.
Let's have some fun.
Yeah,
what small cap names are you guys looking like?
Let's trade some Momo here and see if we can find anything. Momo. Like YYG, this volume. I mean, it's 69 million shares. We'll get Luis on around 1 o'clock, an hour and a half from now. Plug Power, Baito. Remember, Yanni used to like Baito, MSS. But guys, put it in the chat. Like, what are some of the small cap names that you got going on here today? There's a lot of
CELH apparently. I don't know if that's a small cap.
What's that?
Celsius Holdings.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe it is there, Obi.
No.
I mean, XPON, what do we got here? It's at $8. No continuation. What I'm seeing on my scanner and what names have the most amount of volume, give me something that's north of the volume weighted average price. ZCMD. That's, I mean, very illiquid. SNXX. $13 break, that $12.95, not too bad, but there's no real momentum or volume starting to kick in. What's that? DAIC below VWAP. We don't like that. I need these names to be above the volume weighted average price. Otherwise, Luis Barbados be shorting, taking UB his exit liquidity there. So what else do we got here? MO. All right, we'll go through a couple of the names. MO seems to be the narrative on today. So yeah, but there's very, very little liquidity. And you can see as we head over to the lower time frames, I don't even have it on here. I don't know what's wrong with this. Sorry. Yeah, I know exactly. Sorry, with this scanner, because specifically, it only should have small caps, but yet NVDA, ONDS, and some of the other names are on there. I'll figure that out later once Obi's going on, so I can get some more of the small cap. Howl, some people mentioning as well. So we need something to show Luis here today. No, there's no volume in this. How are you guys even trading this? Like, how do you what's your exit plan? What's the spread looking like on some of these things? MO, I had that BICO up 40%. I'm going to go with it's a pretty quiet one because we'd have Bubba in the chat. We'd have some other individuals mentioning some really good ones, but SOAR, OMH, and NCPL. What's SOAR? Is this one Soarin', Obi? Were you talking about this not too long ago?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. SOAR, I don't even know if we'll have access to it. It's 30 cents, but I do like the look of this one, Obi. There is a potential trade it's set up for me here, especially at the break of this resistance zone at 30 cents. We'd have to go pretty heavy and just hope there's no rug pull, but the high of the day is 34 cents, so you really need to amplify your share size here to find any form of a return. Thank you for that. We'll keep SOAR on our radar, and also we're going to be waiting.
Does it trade on AM?
It might be on the Amex, yeah.
Yeah, it trades on the Amex.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what?
So you won't get a top if it happens to Halt, BICO, Howl, some people are mentioning, but it seems like SOAR is the #1 winner. My primary objective is to wait to see if Meta comes back into VWAP and then finds a bounce. NVDA holding up to this 211 marker, 210 right now, hasn't broke the low of the day in the NASDAQ, and then SPY, once again, pretty choppy session. We'll head over to the financials momentarily because we know some of the fintech names, yeah, just another chop fest here in the overall market. Let's head over to some of the fintech names like Robinhood and SoFi. Someone in the morning asked me about SoFi, and I do believe that it had a nice little bounce off of the lows. But from this 120 marker, think about it, this name was cut more than in half, right? 60% off of its highs, and then it eventually bounced off of the $66 level. That's a pretty good return. Like, I don't think too many people will be complaining about 72% since March, especially with some of the volatility stepping into this. Now, as for SoFi, I don't know if it's to that extent. Yeah, that's the thing with this name. And I was talking with Nimrud, and he's like, yeah, SoFi. I'm like, you know what, dude? I personally don't love this name too much. And sure enough, even though we're at a base and you've been chopped in half, this could be an accumulation phase before this name starts to find any form of recovery. You see this sideways price action. If it does happen to breach anywhere north of $17, then I think that could be a good opportunity to get involved because your risk to reward ratio is going to be significantly increased. And then you play that move back into this $32 marker, could almost give you a 100% return in over time just to get back to that all-time high. So we'll keep an eye on SOAR, OB. Other than that, Meta is our primary objective right now.
Yeah, no, I'm watching
sorry to interrupt
this.
you. Trapman,
Yeah,
happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, my guy. Trapman having an adult beverage, 11:30. $11:30. We got the adult beverages rolling.
Ooh.
Attaboy, Trapman.
Who's
Trapman, he said he's drinking. It's his
okay,
birthday.
all right, yeah. No, bottoms up. Happy birthday.
Yeah, man, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Shout out. Nice. Yeah, no, let's see what is going on here. I'm looking for the next trade, man. I'm looking at this SOAR. You guys have my interest peaked with this SOAR here. I am watching it. Don't know if I'm going to take a fill. And even if I do, it's probably going to be something extremely insignificant because I do not normally touch these things with anything. PLAB, oh yeah, that one's definitely in play. Thank you, Vivek Singh, for the super chat there. How do you guys expect Oklo, AAOI, and PLAB to go from here for the rest of the day? Hey, listen, man, if I knew, we said this yesterday, if I knew, we'll go through them though. The thing is, a lot of these stocks are getting sold off. They're very much in a downtrend. I do have eyes on them, man. Like this stuff is pretty much moving pretty aggressively today. But bigger picture, take a look at what we've been doing, right? Lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower lows, lower lows, lower lows. Even a bit of a bid off of earnings doesn't really get us anywhere. So more selling coming in, maybe with some relative volume now as well on this one here. AAOI, I think that was the second one there. AAOI. Let's take a quick look at this one. Bit of a sideways chop. I guess, yeah, it had some sort of a catalyst earlier on this week coming into Friday and Monday. But yeah, a bit of a sideways chop on this one. So no man's land, like this could just stay within range for the rest of the day. And I have no idea, right? That's pretty much what it did yesterday, pretty much. As Sharif likes to say, bupkis on AAOI here on the intraday at the very least. PLAB, yes, this was one of the names that I was watching this morning because of the earnings report that it had. And yeah, absolute quadunk off of the open and hasn't really bounced either, pretty much chilling at that earnings reference price. So I am watching this one, but it just dead cat bouncing here. Can't even catch a bid. So no idea what any of these are doing, but very much in play, some of those names. So thank you, Vivek, for shouting those out. But guys, it's about 11:35 right now.
Ooh.
And I think Europe, there might be something going on there.
But Europe,
so
yeah,
we'll send you guys off to the desk. with Dara
Europe es
and Juan.
cerrado.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys what happened in Europe. The market closed for the day. So with that in mind, Juan's here to take us through some of these European regions and how their stocks performed.
Thank you, Dara. So European markets on the rise as lower oil prices reduced bond yields, and investors, of course, holding their breath for Nvidia earnings later today. So we see the stocks Euro 600 currently in consolidation mode, but in the green. Basic resources as well as banks offsetting that of oil and tech drags. In Germany, basically, they're gained up for a second session of the day, led by banks, industrials, and tech. Heidelberg Materials led the tape, surging by more than 5.5%, while Deutsche Bank and Commerzbank were also up. Deutsche Bank up 4.6%, Commerzbank up 3%. On the opposite side of the tape, SAP fell by 2.7% after a UBS downgrade to neutral, citing slow AI progress and also weaker cloud growth. Auto sector also not catching a bid, with both Volkswagen and Porsche down by 1.5%, and Mercedes-Benz as well as BMW down by 1%. Now, over in France, they are the regional leaders in Europe today, up by nearly 0.5%. Luxury stocks led the gains, with Louis Vuitton up 1%, Hermes up by 1.5%, Kering up by 1.8%, along with Airbus and Safran, both of them up by more than 2%. Investors, though, are remaining cautious ahead of France's Fitch rating review releasing this Friday. Markets are also monitoring the government's September budget talks, as well as the upcoming presidential elections in France. So keep an eye out on that. Over in the United Kingdom, Britain, lower oil prices hitting that of energy stocks, with BP down by over 2% and Shell down by 1.4%. Brent crude falling for a third straight day on hopes that shipping resumes in the Strait of Hormuz. Mining stocks, though, offered a little bit of support, with Antofagasta, Anglo American, and Fresnillo. All three of them gained over 1% each. Now, meanwhile, the Office of Gas and Electricity announced that there's going to be a 4% UK energy price cap that will be increasing in October. And that, of course, is driven by gas price increases from the Middle East conflict. So that's going to affect a lot of energy markets next month. So what to look out for as European opens next day? Nvidia earnings impact, of course, that's going to be a main thing. European semiconductors and the suppliers such as ASML, BE Semiconductors, they'll be reacting to Nvidia's results. Any capex revisions from Nvidia will determine whether Eurozone tech will open with some momentum or consolidate their valuations. Also, desks will be digesting that of US inflation data, as well as upcoming ECB rate pricing. A drop in the German 10-year Bund yield will help boost growth and real estate stocks.
And make sure to check out here at 3:30 p.m. for some real estate with Juan and myself discussing the Asian markets. We'll send it back over to the guys.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, I did get one to crack up a little bit. So full on professional, as everyone in the chat thinks he looks very good today. I think I agree, man. I love the blazer, love the fit. So bringing you the heaters as well too in regards to the Europe close. Now We Shop Holdings for show, bro, in the chat mentioned this one. Thanks for the mention, because the volume is there. Let's wait for this thing to turn around, and then maybe we can find a high of the day break. The volume stepped in around 11 o'clock, so about 40 minutes ago. Now starting to come back in, but we're running right into into VWAP. So that's something that we're most likely going to be keeping on our radar. And then we also have METU starting to fall into our levels. But Trap, man, I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, good to have you back. I haven't seen you over the past couple of days. Now, Obi, you got 3 trades going on right now. DKS. You're on a heater right now, going short DKS. You're going short Palantir and Circle. Let's see if we get that breakdown. I do believe things look like we're going to curl over here momentarily in Circle, but man, oh man, this is a range day within the NASDAQ and the S&P. Once again, are we surprised by this? No, I don't think we should be, because it's kind of been the narrative. And we'll head over to the daily before we send it over to Obi and see what he's got going on. I'm just waiting for any form of indecision for me to re-engage here on Meta. But I also have to take into consideration the fact that we've established a lower high, and we may not breach that pivot, right? Los Pollos was talking about some open interest at that $600 marker. I didn't actually see anything. Now, first things first. SPY daily sideways price action. Dawn, I don't know. Are you feeling condorish? Because I think these are good opportunities to kind of get involved with this strategy, this credit-based strategy, as the market does absolutely nothing. This was prime time in which I was telling Hangry Wife, if this was my MO right now, was collecting premium, then I would have been writing, like that was my thing. And I loved it because it's really fun, because you don't have to necessarily have a directional bias. For those who are aware about the Iron Condor, this is the ideal setup. 2-3 weeks out, you collect 67% of the premium, boom, no problem. And that can happen in the matter of a couple of sessions. You close it and then reopen it at a different strike price or the exact same thing and look to collect some more premium. So, I mean, aside from that, the current market sentiment, I think, is really, really good for some of these credit-based trades. Be cautious on what you select, obviously, especially leading into NVDA's earning report. It can move the NASDAQ and the S&P, especially if it decides to exceed its expected move. But yeah, Obi, talk to us about some of your trades there.
Yeah, no, I think none of these really working out right now. So I just got to be patient. With some of them. Circle, I do like here for potential continuation, but we'll wait and see. It's kind of sideways, slowing down. It is. I do like that it's kind of accepting underneath that opening range low as of right now. So just continuing to keep an eye on a little bit of that. DKS from yesterday, a bit of a curl back up to the upside here. I did try it already once. Where is it? You can see it. Maybe not here. Let me pull it up once again on my chart right here. So DKS, that is on the NICE. So right here, we can take a look at this chart. Go down to the 1 minute so we can see it a little bit better as well. Boom. So I did try it a couple of times. You can see here in the morning session. A couple times after that bid kind of broke down, we retested that 130 pretty aggressively. And right before coming to this desk here, I was like, even though my stop was above that 130, I was like, you know what? It's probably going to hit, so let me just get out. Boom, punch out. It goes 5 pennies and then slaps right back into the range. And I'm like, all right. When I saw that happen after I sat back down, I'm like, all right, cool. You know, maybe the trade's still on. Never violated that risk limit from earlier, so I should just get right back in. I made a mistake, you know, punching out a little emotionally when that price was never really printed. So get back in, give it the risk it deserves, and let it kind of do its thing. It might take a lot longer for it to come to fruition than I expect. Right? The market's it's gonna do things at its own on its own time. I can just speculate and potentially make probabilistic guesses on some of the direction of action. So yeah, that's on DKS. Also on Circle here. Oh no, we already talked about Circle. What's that last one? Palantir, right? So Palantir, yeah, we did pop up into that 175 here on Palantir. So I did take another ad. So that's on the NASDAQ. Let me pull that one up right here as well. So it did take another ad on that 175. Didn't quite, like I said, I know I was chasing down here. We didn't get all the way to VWAP. We kind of consolidated pretty well on 174. So it's not looking the best. I would have preferred if it would just kind of, you know, boom, 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 lower highs, lower lows, all the way down into VWAP, and then we reassess around 73 halves. But you know, it's not. We don't live in an ideal world, and it's rare that price action itself is going to be
Apple looks like it wants to break out, Obi, if you want to check that out.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No, I see that on your screen right there. Apple coming into 13 halves, 313 halves right here. Nice call on that one, Joe. A bit of a breakout action coming in. Oh boy, would you look at that? From Monday, this is pushing weekly highs here. Nice look there, Joe, on this one. So weekly high coming in. I know I was involved on Monday and maybe a little bit yesterday as well, getting short in and around some of these levels, especially on Monday. Yesterday, it's a little bit later in the day, but yeah, I remember taking this short. I really liked it. Bit of a double top there. And Tuesday comes in. We're seeing a similar kind of story where these levels continue to show up over and over again on some of these names. The same kind of pressure. So some supply sitting here at 313s on Monday. On Tuesday, very aggressively stepping in. And then once again today, it gave it to you twice, but holding higher lows on VWAP, actually building in for a potential breakout and fresh highs on the week as well. So I really do like that. And oh boy, would you look at that. bit of a anchored VWAP hold. Where is that anchored coming in from? I got to go to a higher time frame because that's probably not in the correct spot. Yeah, that's the thing. You have to go. Oop, don't need to do that. Let me take that off. So I got to go all the way back to where the anchor actually is anchored to, and then the anchor goes to its where it's supposed to go. That's sometimes that's the weird thing about this glitchiness. As you can see, I have my Apple chart charted very extensively. There's a lot of spaghetti on this chart. And yeah, full disclosure, this is one of my biggest positions in the swing account. So yeah, as you can see here, a bit of a flag pattern. I got involved, let's say, around 21, 22s. So haven't seen some of those prices in a very long time. So Apple's doing pretty well in terms of a higher picture frame. But what am I looking at really here? Let's take that VWAP out of the way. You see, last week, pretty aggressively sold off of that 320, and we're beating back towards that area, attempting that weekly breakout after a strong sell-off into the end of the week on Apple. So somewhat interesting to me. I like that breakout there, but not really going to get involved just yet, Joe. I do thank you for bringing that up. Very much something that I do want to keep a close eye on here.
All right, man, good stuff. Yeah, Kohl's, we could take a look at Kohl's here. I mean, Kohl's warns fall margins will turn negative. Okay, well, that's not good as retail promotions heat up. So again, we know that when you offer discounts on your product, what does that do? That obviously compresses the margins. But I mean, the street seems to be brushing that aside. $18.20 so far, and no sign of stopping, even though momentum has cooled down a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's been a nice steady grind. Nice pullback there on AAPL, but it did report earnings. I believe it was this morning. Yeah, so you can see this volatility step in, boom, boom, boom. It sold off to 16 bucks and then found a way to recovery. So there it is on Kohl's. Same thing, man. They pull up some of these Kohl's cash. BlackBerry better be moving. Let's pull it up. Okay, there's no liquidity in this thing in BlackBerry. Pull up, let us know about some more of these small cap names. Oh, okay. Oh, WHSP. It's starting to go, Obi. This is exactly what we want to see. WHSP. Let's see if we can get this one. WSHP. Sorry, WSHP. Oh, it's probably already gone without me. I don't want to look, Obi, because it looks like it wants to. There's a clear supply zone and a seller in these $6.56 marker. Now, if this breaks and we have a 1 minute candle sit on top side of this, then we might head for this high of the day, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Buying pressure starting to step in right at VWAP. Ideally, we would like to catch the lower end of the range, which would be right at $6 flat. I don't know if we're going to be fortunate enough to get this, because if that next wave of participants start to step in, then it might be see you later. Uh-oh, there it goes, Obi. Now we want to keep our eyes on the tape, ladies and gentlemen, to see if we have the ability to breach. Okay, we're involved in this one. We're going to get our first small capper of the day locked and loaded. Continuation is key, and if the volume isn't supporting it, we might be in some big trouble. There it goes. We're going to take a scalp on that one, Obi. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. Right into the high of the day. Bang, just like that. Oh, thank you for show. $6.40. I wish I could go back in time. That was we can actually take a look at the tape, and you guys obviously have a stream. Watch the time in sales leading into this breakout. Now, there might be some continuation north of $7, but that's all I needed. I'm looking for that move into the high of the day. Whether it rejects or breaks, that's a completely different story. There could be an additional trade. Obi, you say this quite often. There's trades within the trade. Now, the volume is supporting this move higher. With that being said, a break of $7 is most definitely in my wheelhouse. Joey adds, yeah, thanks, brother. Much appreciated for that one. I seen the setup. We were holding VWAP. I'm in. I didn't go as much size as I like, but now I have significantly more breathing room compared to what I had before. So a nice little momentum style trade on WSHP. And you can see the strength within that specific candle. You punch through resistance at 640. And one of the key factors where you can add a little bit more conviction into your thesis is the volume supporting the move. Watch out for a high of the day break here on WSHP, Obi.
Yes, sir. So getting stopped out of that Palantir as it trades back above that 175. So that's all right. I mean, I said before, I know it was a bit of a chase here in that 174 hold. if we get back above 175, yeah, the probabilities for retest of this 75 half and even the 76 increase in my eyes there. So don't really need to be around here as those changes potentially come in. Looking for the next trade here. Circle still working out, still holding a bit of that 89 level here. CRCL, you can see it's kind of chopping and churning. It's taken a while, but we've been getting those lower highs. I'm just waiting and watching to see if it does anything with this 90, or we drop back into 88s and 87-day lows for a continuation on that news, which was something along the lines of banks that are moving forward with global stablecoin consortium. So bit of a volatile push in Circle happening on that catalyst there. Down about, we'll say, where did the volume start coming in? We'll just measure this big stick candle here, roughly about 4.5% drop off of that news on Circle. Bit of a continuation. I like that it's under 100. I like that it couldn't get back above 90 as well, and that happened to be where opening range low was at the same time. So yeah, 3 factors of confluence. I like that a lot. JY Sup, thank you for the super chat. Can you look at COHR and LITE? I'm seeing long. Okay, all right. Well, we'll see if we see eye to eye in terms of our own opinions there. So I'll take a look at COHR here right now. You know what? We'll go to the daily. I'm pretty sure you don't mean. Well, let me know if you mean intraday. But I do like this area. It's a bit of a support area here from 26 and even April of 2026 here, June, July. All right, yeah. So for the past couple of months there, bit of a support area on top of the 250. So interesting. Buyers have been here before, so I can understand why you might be thinking that way. Very much so. LITE. Let's take a quick look at this one. Okay. I like this one as well. This is already in a much bigger picture uptrend. I do watch this one pretty closely every now and then. It's trying to break through that 1,000 mark this year, right? We've been a long time coming, sub $100 stock just before 2026, and then boom, off to the races, almost exponential growth in price, all the way from sub 100 to testing 1,100 within the span of roughly about 12 to 18 months. Absolutely wild on Lumentum, lighting the way to fresh highs over the past year or so. So I like this. I like the look. I like the bigger picture idea. But you got to remember, we're in this range. We've been chopping between 800, even lows of 600 to 1,000 since May of this year. So for the past 100 days or so, it's been choppy in that range on Lumentum. So that's what I'm seeing here on the chart. So good luck with any sort of positions that you may or may not have or put on. That's how I'm looking at the chart right now.
Weird. I'm not doing any of that. Okay, anyways, aside from that, guys, I took another attempt here, Obi, but this was a clean flush. It was identical to what you and I seen on mRNA yesterday, is that punch through the high of the day. I look at the tape, I'm like, nice, we're going to crack that $7 marker. But then as soon as it failed, I'm like, let's get out of this. So we do take a little bit of a hit, giving some back. But hey, man, we'll still take this nice little scalp all the way here through WSHP. And then now it's broke down. Once it's south of the volume weighted average price, I don't pay very much attention to it. Isn't there a little ring thing when there is news, Joe? Yeah, there is, but I don't know if I didn't see anything step into them. Oh, there is some volume stepping into the market. Thanks for pointing that out. We'll figure out momentarily what it could be, but big time volume print on the NASDAQ here. Same thing, you've seen the increase in some of the mega caps, so watch out for that. I'll keep my eyes on it. I'll pull up my news blotter to see if anything is stepped in via USO. This will be a little bit delayed, but if anybody knows what's going on, what time this was, 10:45. Yeah, so that's an hour ago. Headline, yeah, market patiently waiting on NVDA. I don't know. It could be an oil headline here. Yeah, USO, strong uptick, ladies and gentlemen. Keep an eye out on this one. I'll wait here momentarily to see if anything pops up, but I'm not seeing anything at this given moment. Sia, let us know if you see anything in regards to the oil situation, as there was a strong bounce in USO to the top side. And again, whatever the headline may be, you got to play the price action. So USO up, market down. That should be almost telling enough in kind of what's going on. So be cautious with that. Can't really hear me. My mic is where it's supposed to be. I can speak up as well, so let's keep an eye on that. Apple couldn't break the high of the day. WSHP, Putin on Ukraine, oil up market. Putin said to plan Ukraine escalation, seeing talks fruitless. Yeah, well, last time I checked, Donald Trump said as soon as he came into office, he's like, yeah, I can end that in a matter of days. That's still going on. So yeah, USO to the top side there, OB getting a nice little bounce. And I think you called it last week, or sorry, a couple of days ago, that USO might seem all-time high. Putin said to plan Ukraine escalation, seeing talks fruitless. Yeah, so that's not good as the price of oil continues to climb a little bit higher here. Yeah, no end in sight for both of these conflicts. So yeah, there's not much really you can do about it. Let these guys duke it out, spend the taxpayer money. And that's it, Obi.
Yeah, for sure. Getting involved. A lot of people were pointing out this this ANF in the chat. I do like it. Here, I got a little involved with a short. Instantly drops. You know, not really. Instantly drops down and then pops back up a whole dollar. So not really what I was expecting as soon as I got in. Got to be a little bit more aware of you know, potential spread and volatility on this one here. But I do like it. Absolutely crazy. Earnings on the day today and blasting to the upside here in a very straight line. Holding trend. The trend hasn't broken. I shouldn't be short at all. Trend hasn't broken at all. All the way from the open, 140s all the way to 153s. Didn't really look at this one. This one missed my radar today, but I guess their earnings was great. You know, margins exceeded outlook, driven by broad growth and $100 million tariff refund there as well. Apparently a surprise over 100%.
Bro, those
at the same time on ANF.
Be cautious on those, man. Those are those AI summaries on TV.
Oh yeah, they're kind of messy.
So
right?
yeah, they're
yeah,
so
no,
inaccurate, dude. Yeah.
You know, so they had earnings. I think that's the biggest thing, and they did beat on both aspects, it would seem. So usually they're pretty right on that, whether or not
with
they
the earnings,
beat
with
on,
the summaries,
whether they beat or not. The summaries are kind of all
they're
over the place, so understandable. But oh boy, indeed,
Brad.
saying Michael P. DeRider, what's going on, man? How are you doing? What's up?
Brad Glazier, thank you very much for that $148 donation.
Wow.
Yeah, man, this thing's really, it's only a matter of days now until Fabian decides to cut his hair. It costs $2,500 to sponsor one angel hair for kids. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for your donation. Oh, sorry, I forgot the individual's name there, but thank you very much for that. Friday. Yeah, it's quite a bit of chop, Brad. Thank you. Listen, do we take one more attempt on this WSHP? Looks like the volume and the momentum wants to uptick again, but be cautious, ladies and gentlemen, because here from the time profile, it's showing us otherwise. Don't get caught. I'm glad that we got out of this. If we were holding on to it, it'd have been absolutely disastrous. But guys, it's that lunchtime hour. Let's send it over to Sia with happening now, and then lesson of the day with Neil.
The SPY is currently down 0.68%. The triple Qs are down 0.13% and the Dow down 0.21%. Let's take a look at this one stock I want to talk to you about, NKE. That is Nike hitting a fresh 12-year low. Trading in midday levels today that has not been seen around in 12 years. CNBC reporting a Nike stock off more than almost 2% today, following a downgrade by Choice Securities to Halts. Now, shares are at levels that were last traded in 2014 August and are now close to being down 40% almost this year. Schwartz believes that the weaker full-year guidance for the year 2026 by Dick's Sporting Goods is implying a rather bad news for Nike, and the company is in the midst of a turnaround plan under CEO Elliott Hill, but that rebound has been longer than analysts had originally anticipated. Nike is now down more than 75% from its all-time highs in late 2021. Like I said, the stock is down 2% as of today. Well, before we head back to the Midday Madness, let's head over to Neil for his lesson of the day.
Thank you there, Sia. You can sum up the lesson of the day in one word today. Abercrombie, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Seriously? And the crazy thing about this is, I know it's not the exact same chart, but it's the exact same concept as to why DKS was so absurd yesterday. Okay! Yeah! Well, when a stock breaks out major levels on earnings, that's what you want to look for. And when it breaks out multiple levels, that's even crazier. And that was the reason why DKS, these flies are crazy. That was the reason why DKS stood out so much. It broke one, it broke two, and the continuation blew everybody's mind. And then you come back in today, and the other theme I'm going to go with today is, what's the easiest trade? I'm not going to say ANF was the easiest trade, but if that's the pattern that you were looking for in earnings, you flip the chart on its head. It's break one level, it's break two levels, and then the continuation is more than anybody was expected. The second level break was effectively at the open, right? You go to the daily chart, it broke that at the open. I get it. It's already traveled pretty far at that point, but you got to be kidding me. Like, it's like any available dip. I'm not asking you to be in the dip. Like, how is this not a breakout at 142? Like, why not? Like, there's your parabolic move on the open range, right? Right at 930. There's a top at 42. There's a dip. There's the break. It's 42. It's a $2 stop on a stock that had already moved $19 off pre-market levels. A $2 stop on a stock that's gone $19 on the single move. And then at the open did a $14 candle. A $2 stop. And this is the thing. Like, if you get wrapped up with the notion of, $1, so that stuff doesn't matter. It's a $14 range in the first 15 minutes, and you can have an entry with a $2 stop when the levels are so wide. Like, look at the gap on the daily. The gap's to 160. So I'm not going to tell you it was easy trick. I certainly didn't have it, but there was something that I do believe was an easy trade. So that's one, and then the second part of the lesson of the day is going to be, like, come on, Snapchat. Like, you saw what Meta was doing, right? And Meta's back on her VWAP now. Bruh. But Meta, on the news, goes right to the 50-period moving average and dips. And look what happens when Meta catches the bid. It goes, puts in a lower high, and then continues lower. Well, what happened to Snapchat when it caught that bid? Did it extend through, oh, wait a minute? No. That second tranche where the higher lows came in Meta, Snapchat faded. So it's similar in that it goes to a major moving average on sympathy, both reject, on the bounce, one of them puts in higher lows and is going, the other one puts in a lower high. Now this, to me, is probably the easiest trade that you could have. And that was, it's weird I said it and then traded Intel again anyways, which is fine, Intel worked out. And I guess Moderna worked as well, so I was kind of distracted. But at the end of the day, when you have a sympathy play, you know the reason it's going. You know the thing that you're watching to see if it behaves and diverges from. You see it do the divergence, so therefore, okay, now it's relatively weak, engage. And it goes right to the low of the day. You're shorting it at VWAP, and you can go with a pretty tight stop. You'd still be in this one to the south side, and maybe even just playing the trend. It's the lower hanging fruit. Like I always try to ask myself, the things that I was doing, whether you're successful or not, were they the best setups? Were they the easiest setups? Were they the easiest reads that you could have taken advantage of? And if you're not on the easiest trades and you're making, it's harder for you to figure it out, but that's where you focused on all day long, then I'm like, I don't care how I did. I could have been doing something easier, less mental capital and easier wins and easier reads, as opposed to trying to fight the thing that I was trying to make happen. And I think Snapchat would be an example of that. very clearly, it immediately showed itself to be relatively weak. It stair-stepped down after plunging at the open. It rejected on a higher time frame an obvious resistance spot. So you have so many things going for that trade to give you a reason to be in that it just makes so much sense. And then just going back to Abercrombie, I mean, what else can you say about this? And then the only good thing that I will say is at least I haven't tried to revert this. Because you see 40% up and this kind of a move, it's so tempting to want to catch the fade. And as somebody who, hey, I took 3 longs on DIX yesterday and it was my best stock. On a stock where if it had been 3 shorts, it would have been obviously way better. It's very tempting to look for the reverse. I'm not saying there won't be one, but if you can just simply find your way into that move, understanding that, yes, that looks extreme. It's difficult to want to chase. But if you zoom it out, as I said, if you zoom it out and look at that level that it's breaking out from on the daily, that's a 130 to 133 resistance on the daily. Like, you remember that? At the open, it basically pumps right to that level and does a clean breakout above. So the fact that there's another leg higher makes total sense because it's making a monster move on the higher time frame. So you can expect a little bit more. So there it is, a bit of a double barrel action. And we got, I'm finished the pasta and meat sauce that we had. So it was actually pretty tasty. I haven't had my vegetables or my salad yet, but the salad looks nice today. Got a little, here, I can try to show you. Got a little cucumber in there. There's some strawberries. So pretty excited about that. It looks like some kind of a maybe raspberry dressing. I don't know. I haven't really smelt it yet. But the lunch is hot. The market, maybe not, as we're back under VWAP. And thank you to Ishmael for the donation. Keep the donations coming in. Fantastic cause. Thank you to Fabian for being willing to cut off the quaff and donate it as well. So thank you, Ishmael, for that donation. Scan the QR code right there. Link is in the description and in the chat if you are feeling like you're in a giving mood. And we're going to throw you right back to Obi and Joe. Go get them, boys.
I will hop on first here to talk Apple. AAPL right now pushing a little bit higher. They just announced their latest iPhone event. Usually these events are on a Monday, so I was quite shocked this one's going to be happening on a Wednesday. September 9th, of course, with Labor Day happening a little bit later this week. That actually makes sense. So again, on a holiday shortened week, you will be getting an Apple iPhone reveal on September 9th. Surprise and Shine is the name of the event, and here is the very Apple-centric logo. Back to you.
All right, guys. You got to remember, VinFast reported a strong Q2 momentum, delivering more than 70,000 EVs globally, up 96% year over year. First half deliveries reached nearly 129,000 vehicles, up 78%, reinforcing the company's growth trajectory across its expanding EV portfolio. By mid-year, VinFast had already achieved approximately 43% of both its 2026 four-wheel and two-wheel delivery targets, putting the company firmly on track across both growth engines. So, yeah, shout out to our friends at VinFast. You're saying, holy, what's going on?
So the second I hit the key, it just goes on this run. It's going to halt up here now at $4.73.
He's in a
the
halter.
second, I'm like, no way. So we took a scalp not too long ago while we were going through the lesson. I'm like, all right, let's be patient. Let's wait. There you go, bang, gray out.
Bang.
But on this one, $7. I'm like, okay, boom, let's punch this. And then sure enough, my spread, my cross on this didn't give me the fill because it just went immediately. Man, oh man, I should have been involved in this. Oh well, it is what it is. If it was, I guess it wasn't meant to be, because what is potentially meant to be is that our setup here on Meta starting to display itself. Who's in this WSHP? I know Luis is probably going to be looking at this one. It did halt already. We mean about the halt, Shannon West. It halted already a minute or so ago. No, in all seriousness, make sure you have direct access data here. But 735 halted, top now at 745. Keep an eye out on this one. Man, oh man, that was clean. Who got in that? O-Block's got real flat. Double bottom on NVDA. Yeah, potentially. Let's see. There is a key support level there at this 210 marker. We've been talking about that, but I think I'm going to stick with some METU. NIMIT My borrowers was $6.20. Never touched it beforehand. What a miss. 630, not 620. Your borrower was at 620. Oh, no way. You're south of VWAP on that one as well, too. You like Juan likes NVDA as well. But man, oh man, that was it. That would have turned this day around completely, especially if we got in at this 689 marker all the way up to 735. Oh, man, missed off there, Obi. I see that you're short ANF.
Yeah.
How's that going?
You know, just doing some so a little bit of a degeneracy. Yeah, a little bit of degeneracy.
What does that mean?
You know, doing things I shouldn't be doing, like shorting ANF.
Yeah, why are you shorting the strongest stock? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Retail.
That's a good question, right? I don't
Just
know.
avoid it.
I don't know. Yeah. Well,
Regardless
I
of
like
what
it. I like it. As Neil said, when seeing something going like this, I am very, very tempted, and it's okay. You know, I'm willing to take a couple of scratches on the way up. I want to feel it out. This thing is a beast, and if I'm gonna go battle a beast on the day, I want to put some prep in. I want to feel it out. I want to see how it, you know, see how it bites, maybe, as a feel, and then when it actually comes in, hopefully we have enough of a feel and are prepared to get in on the right side of the move with the appropriate kind of aggression and size. So we'll wait and see. But yeah, 154. The trend is pretty strong here. So just kind of dabbling, willing to spend a little bit to get some information here. But yeah, no, very strong trend. This thing's been trending since, I guess, since the morning. It's only now, and again, because of you guys that I discovered this thing. And I'm like, wow, okay, cool. Definitely got to keep closer eyes on this one. Let's see, what is Palantir doing? I know we left that one a little bit alone earlier. Where is Palantir here? Okay, so it's still holding around that 175 on PLTR. So yeah, in and around the same area where I left it. So not really going to do too much if it's going to chop around this same place. But yeah, no, let me know what you guys are trading. What are you guys up to here? Yeah, you need full armor and a two-handed sword to get that beast. Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what? I usually like dual wielding. Two-handed sword, great. But I'm more of like a rogue-like dual wield, you know, dual sword kind of a character when I'm running the RPGs. But I like where your head's at for sure. So we'll see. Blasted past a gap fill of 164 line of resistance. Yeah, no, this thing is making a straight beeline for 155 here. How long is the halt? You're being asked there, Joe. On that, when was the last print there at 12:08?
Yeah,
08.
Yeah.
So 08. Add 5 minutes to that,
yeah,
and that'll be in and around about a minute left from now, right?
Yeah,
so that'll
exactly.
be 12:13:08. So less than a minute now.
Oh wow! Oh okay. Okay.
What's going on?
No, tap's right where we're at. So just be cautious on this one.
Tap's
we
right
did
there.
tap up to 45s. Now we're back to where we actually halted at, ladies and gentlemen. So just be patient with it. I don't know if you have your limit on opens to get out of there, but I wouldn't be surprised. We're gonna wait for a pullback because now we have these extremely large volume prints. Shows you that buyers are stepping back in. Now it's just our due diligence and kind of our job here to be able to time ourselves getting involved with it correctly. So I'm gonna wait, see what happens. If it pulls back into $7 and then we turn around again, I think it could give us a good opportunity. But we hit the key and it just didn't. There it goes. All right, we're open again, ladies and gentlemen. It might go. Look at the tape. Look at the strength in the tape. Printing 50s. Woo, yeah, this thing is, be cautious. Let it cool down a little bit. Let some of the momentum follow. Keep your eyes on the time and sales, obviously, as this name now printing 60s. Once again, 70s. It's off to the races, ladies and gentlemen. WSHP looking pretty good. Pulled back to 720 off of that 735 halt. Not too bad. I thought you'd get a little bit more. Not necessarily the case. There it goes. Are we going to see $8 momentarily? I think is definitely in the works. Gonna wait for the pullback. Now printing 80s. Ooh, I see 88s on the tape. Uh-oh, Obi. Yeah, that's another missed opportunity in WSHP, as this name is absolutely going bonkers. I'm glad everyone had the ability to take advantage of it. That Joe can fly this spaceship. Yeah, let's see, man. There's going to be a good chance. I want to wait for this pullback, and then once price starts to turn around, so a red candle turns green, then I think it could give us a good opportunity to play that move into that $8 marker. Adam James, this is the trade here, apparently, of the day. One of the better small cappers. Luis coming up in approximately 45 minutes as well, too. So we'll talk a little bit about this name, Obi. Oh, man, oh, man.
Yeah.
Is
that Workshop? Workshop? WSHP?
No, WSHP. It's like one something.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not
that one, yeah.
Could be wrong though when I pulled it up, but yeah, let's keep our eyes on it. We're not printing anything crazy right now. Allow this to cool off, but another massive volume print here. If the defense is met equally, then maybe we won't see any more appreciation, but as of right now, we're pretty cool, and this is a 1 minute time frame, so it's only about 10 seconds until we get a new print, a new data print momentarily. Oh, there it goes. Things are going to start to flip on this one. Be cautious of the rug pull, ladies and gentlemen. We know about this. I'm going to get ready to rock and roll on this trade here momentarily. We had a couple of scalps. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Come on. Give us some follow through with this 777 marker. No continuation. Not what we want to see there, Obi. Can we turn around? I thought we were going to get that move through that $8 marker. Not necessarily the case right now. Oh man, things got to turn around relatively quick, my brother. Otherwise, this could be a slight L on the day.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm watching this ANF, like I said, continue to watch this one. Guys, that DKS coming in, working this ANF, some selling coming in. Now, I'm looking back at the chart. I wasn't around when it had these little sell-offs here on the way, so I can't really take this one and compare it to the past 3 or 4 sell-offs. That would be some great information to have, but I can get involved with a little bit of this one here as we pull back in. 154.50s highs, and this is what I'm looking at. Am I looking for a trend break? Absolutely, guys. So what's been holding the trend? We can just use a simple rule. 15-minute prior bar, Neil, on ANF. This is the first time that that's getting broken down. 154.50s is the high. So you can see nice little, I know you like these ones. This is an inverse hammer.
Yeah, up there.
Inverse hammer there. Whatever you want to call it. I think some people call it, what's it called? Shooting stars as well. There's a lot of technical jargon as to whatever you can call it as in terms of proper terms. Regardless, what does it actually mean? It means that buyers kind of stepped in and sellers were like, nope, we're going to close at the lows here of the candle, and the first sign of selling, the first red 15-minute candle with an elevated bar coming in right here on ANF. So this is what I was kind of looking for.
Roll through the time frames on that. Go down to all the way to
like let's look at a 5.
Yeah,
let's go to like a 5. Yeah, so you can see 5. You can see 5 a little bit more, less breaking of the trend on the 5, but still coming in. We can go down. I like a 3-minute. I like a 3-minute as well, but 3-minute a little bit choppy here on the day today. So we'll see if that one potentially comes in. 152 is now trading. I do want to get more. I posted with an ad at 153s. Didn't quite get filled, but it's never too late. This thing is swiping 50, 60 pennies at a time as of right now. And hey, man, ANF, I actually really like this brand. They make some great quality clothing. Like their clothing is absolutely some of the best clothing in terms of just price point to quality that I've seen, and I just really like their style as well. I know in the past people have had issues with their CEO. I thought that was a whole funny funny debacle.
Yeah, old CEO, and now he I think is facing trials.
Yeah, so no, rightfully so. It was funny. I think Buddy came out one day and he was like, "Yeah, we only want good-looking people to wear our clothing," and there was a whole debacle around that, which I thought was pretty hilarious. But you got to remember, that's just the CEO. The company's the stylists, the designers, the people who actually come up with the ideas. The company's made up of hundreds of other people. You can't judge the whole company based off of one. Sure, the guy's at the helm of all the decision making. Understandable. There goes 150, bang. Nice. Let's see if we can crack through this 150. I wish I had more. Didn't pick me up on that 153, but let's see if we can crack down through this 150 on ANF.
Nice.
A little bit of a sale potentially going on here as we trade a little bit lower. 154.50s highs, break of trend, 50-minute prior bar. Oh boy. Is this going to be the best reversion on the day, Joe? I have no idea.
The volume, let's see. Time will tell, man.
You know, only time will tell. But you know who was telling before all of that? The chart and the price action. So 150. Let's see if we can get a distinct push and breakdown through that 150. I want to take a little bit more here, but we'll have to wait and see. We got a super chat here by Chain Reactor.
Hold on, well, I'll just cover this. We'll get into the super chat quick. WSHP failed. That's why we got out. Tape flip. See you later. Yeah, Obi, you could cover. You want to cover this here?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
DARPA's acquisition on IonQ. Financially, where do you see IonQ in the quantum race, considering DARPA has an unlimited amount of money?
That's a great question to ask AI, I would say, because I have no clue as to their fundamentals, their inner workings of the company. No idea how this quantum race is going, so not the best person to ask. But you know what? In our day and age, we have literally an expert in majority of fields within your hand. So most of these questions that I do get, great question, I would say, something I would ask. But IonQ, I do like it. I do like the future look in terms of the whole quantum story that's being built up. But quantum had its hype just last year, and I think that's been settling down. I do like the quantum story, bigger picture. I don't know if we're just ready for that. You know, I don't know if we're ready for the actual kind of. I haven't seen a true proof of concept, let's say, from any of these quantum names. So, gotta wait and see. But I do like some of the charts and how they've been building. Today we're observing, you know, nuclear is selling off. Here comes 150 on the bid. Nothing too crazy in terms of size, but you know, boom, there it goes. Instantly 50 pennies lower on the bid. 149.50s. That's the thing with some of these levels. 150. I don't know why people tend to like, you know, whole levels and whole dollar levels and quarters or whatever, but that kind of observation you can definitely make in the market because participation does, you know, happen to become unique in and around some of those levels. 150 instantly. Let's see. Ideally, I would like for it to not even look back. This is looking absolutely beautiful on a 30-second chart as well. Neil, I hope you're in this with me on that ANF. I know Neil was looking over at me. He was like, yo, Obi, ANF. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm watching it. This is a setup. Boom, shows up on the 15-minute and then works pretty well so far. Let's see if that'll come in. Prior bar low on the 15-minute was what, 152 halves. 152 halves. What's my entry? Even though I was a little bit, you know, we talk about dabbling on the front side of the move. I was very early on my initial entry, but you know, 152 halves, my average is 152.30s, so I can be 20 pennies better if I am being a little bit more patient. But you know, regardless, I should be taking more on the 153. If I actually got the fill on 153, my average would definitely be closer to that prior bar break, getting in before all of the people punching the prior bar break itself. But you know. That's the confirmation there on the push. Let's see if we can get below 48 halves now. 150 breakdown. I really like this. Not enough size, but it is what it is. Where is the next trade? All right, an artistic lady. Okay, an artistic lady in the chat saying, "I am in it, Obi. Let's go. Let's get it." Let's see if it works out. 148, good luck to you as well. Breaking down on WSHP.
Yeah, it's done. After this out the break, no $8 break there. And now you're south of VWAP. I would be surprised if this thing recovered. Now, nice short there on ANF. Circle looks like it wants to break down. I don't know what this 88.57 level holding up really well. I don't know if there's going to be any size on the options chain. Why is it doing this here now? We'll figure that out here momentarily, Obi, because if there's a support level, then I don't know what we're going to say, but hopefully ANF absolutely prints an absolute monster storm for you. 88 bucks, 88. Oh, there it goes. Ooh, there it goes. It snaps, Obi. Nothing crazy from a size standpoint. Who knows? You can head to 87 or 86 here on CRCL. Really good look. Meta's starting to pull back in, and we're continuing with the absolute chop fest that is the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. Man, oh man. When are we going to find a definitive direction? And that's what I was talking about not too long ago, Obi. This is like when you see the market performing how it is now, this is where I personally used to love to write a bunch of iron condors. We were discussing that not too long ago. But hey, we tapped into 209.77 on NVDA options chain. We'll pull it up. Has that 230 size grown? I don't think it has, but it's dangerous, and there's just such a large amount of open interest at this zone where, you know, it has grown 166,000 contracts. Yeah, that's not good. At 240 here now, 195 at 230. Obi, the congestion is starting to stockpile here. And yeah, 230 is going to be an absolute disaster. So we're not going to be going north of that, and we definitely won't be going up to $240. I have conviction within that 96% chance that after this earnings report, we're not going to see this level here, and approximately an 88% chance over here, ladies and gentlemen, that we won't be seeing $230 either. Where's the floor going to be? 200, it's looking like. Don, you said 195, 23,000. I think this is going to be our first level of defense. Never mind 205. This is where I'm going to be looking at here at $200 for more potential buys on NVDA. See ya.
The Russell is currently down 30 hundredths of a percent. Let's take a look at two individual tickers picked right now. PRZO, that is Parazero Therapeutics here, is up 2% on the day. Market cap of $21.77 million. The reported earnings and sales have increased approximately threefold by 195.3%. Nothing major here. For the 6 months that have ended June 30th compared to the same period of 2025 in June last year when it was $357,979. Secondly, let's take a look at DFNS here. That's T3 Defense with a market cap of $12.42 million. And the stock is down 6% as of today, but the company has announced that its wholly owned subsidiary, that is Tilton Software Engineering Limited, has been selected by a sensor systems developer and manufacturer to license Majestic AI, that is Tilton's generative AI synthetic data platform. So with that, you have DFNS that is down 6% on the day, and PRZO that is up 2% on the day.
Thank you very much. Yeah, some good small cap movements there. We're seeing that WSHP as well, Joe being involved with that one, moving around quite nicely here. 148s here on ANF, so working out pretty nicely, coming into the downside. The question now becomes, you know, can I really expect 100% reversion on something like this? I don't think so. Can I look for a reversion to VWAP? Even that, probably not. To be honest, like I'd be surprised if this thing actually got back to VWAP. And that's coming from someone who loves taking reversions into and through VWAP, right? Something that's this aggressive, I have to be wary about the bid stepping back in at any other point. Sure, we've pulled back from 154 halves to 148s, but this is some of the nuances of taking the reversion trade, mean that being aware of the situation, being aware of the environment that you're in. If, you know, ANF is going to hold in and around this 150 area, I gotta be a little bit wary of that. It has a bit of structure from before as well, and I'm sure if we go back and look at some prior levels, we'll see some things as well. But yeah, I am potentially looking for a full-on continuation. Don't know if we'll get it there, but giving this some room to see if it can make some lower highs. Finally, this is the first aggressive pullback. This is the first distinct type of selling that we've seen coming in on ANF that has been only making higher highs and higher lows. So we can still, you know, I expect it to continue doing more of the same, even if the range between those highs and lows starts to expand like it has as of right now. It was very, very tight on that trend going up, very grindy, tight trend in a very tight range. And then now we get, you know, a break of that range, but sometimes a break of the range is not really a break of the range. It's just an expansion. It's just range expansion, right? It'll still stay within the same trend, but all you're doing is expanding range. So, you know, this is, anyways, we can get into the technicals of, you know, how the smaller range break is still a trend break trade into the expansion, range expansion, and finding the low of the range expansion is probably where I'm looking for potential covers as well. So if you can wrap your head around that, that's kind of what's going through my my mind right now on that. But maybe we get that VWAP, maybe we don't. Who knows? It seems like Circle though is coming in quite nicely. Let's visit some of our other positions here while we let ANF decide what it wants to do with 150 here. Circle, all right. Almost a full circle to the reaction low right there. 88 is trading just above 88 right there. Thank you very much, Fabian, for that. But 89 hold, I like that. Nice little pullback in. So we'll see if that'll come into fruition on Circle as it pulls in a little bit lower here. DKS, let's see how our friend is doing here. Sporting Goods, not really sporting the short side of the move too much, but the longs definitely held it up pretty well this morning off of the open. That was the reversion. I mean, if I was looking for the reversion on DKS, it didn't come in until today, and that was really nice as well. Back through prior day's close was a beautiful, beautiful trade. It pretty much went without looking back, and that was in and around 124s, 125 area right here. And yeah, you can see pretty directional expanding volume into the push. 130s, a bit of a hold on the offer in the 130s. Gets me involved in a bit of a dabble to the downside here, but it is SSR from yesterday. Don't forget, it is still within range for continuation for the downside move. We saw what they did on earnings yesterday. Absolutely, destroyed on their earnings report. Take a look at this daily chart on DKS, guys. Looking a little limp, if you ask me, in terms of the price action, all the way to the downside, breaking multi-year lows through the 160, and a bit of continuation there on the open yesterday. So not real strong to the downside once again today. But I'm looking for that lower high. Things have changed. Let's see if this is an actual shift in terms of fundamentals and sentiment in the stock. I really like when you overnight. You put every long that got involved over the past 900 days, overnight you put them underwater. I really, really like that trade. So that came in pretty nicely yesterday. DKS. We'll see if those sellers step right back in. But yeah, that's kind of a trade review for me. What else is happening? ANF, I'd live to see it pop again before hitting VWAP. To me, would be an easier short. What do you mean? I'd love to see it pop again. Oh, I'd love to see it pop again before getting short on ANF. Yeah, exactly. So I think a lower high. That's what I'm talking about, right? That you're looking for confirmation. You're looking for confirmation. So if we pop to a lower high around 152s, 150s, 151s, I really, really like that. If we close up into 153s, 153 halves, yeah, the likelihood of us printing 50 pennies to $1 more to the high just skyrockets. So I don't really like that one as much. But let's see, if we break down this 48, this is where we had a bit of consolidation, chop, first kind of, not really first, but some sort of selling right there. We did break a little bit of that shorter term trend, but then picked right back up. So buying was defended. So what does that mean to me? Buying was defended within a 10-minute range on ANF on top of 148. That's why 148 suddenly becomes a significant intraday level for me based off of what it's been doing. Now, if we crack through that 148, the probabilities change, in my opinion, for what we can potentially start doing. So that's what I'm watching for ANF. A little bit of a stroke of luck getting involved on the front side and not getting involved enough on the right side because it came in too fast. That's exactly why sometimes I want to get involved on the right side of the move there. So ANF working out right here. So let me know what in the chat, what are you guys trading? What are you guys up to? Invest in Nvidia, saying INTC. That kind of goes against your whole mojo there, your whole name, doesn't it? You got to be investing in Nvidia if your name is Invest in Nvidia, right? Let's see what INTC is up to today. Nothing crazy, man. Sideways chop, no man's land. Don't really see anything for me here. Oh boy, I see some aggressive action on the tape there. There's some selling through that 148. Boom. I saw flashes of red on the right side of my screen through the peripherals, and I'm like, oh boy, what was that? Something's happening. And that 148 cracked through. And yeah, nice 50 pennies instantly on the bid on that 148 crack through. So that's coming in quite nice.
148 on ANF?
148, 147 halves now.
Oh,
so it broke the 148 level.
Watch out
147 halves. So yeah, watch out now.
Ooh, watch out now.
ANF,
Watch
a little
out,
bit of
watch
pullback.
out arm, strong.
Okay, that's
Hitting
a strong arm
yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
Yeah, hitting some curls over here, OB.
Nice.
241 up to 246. Looked on to see if there's any form of news on it. I didn't see anything. VMAR, I will pull up that momentarily, but let's focus on this strong arm. Take my strong hand. VLE sector report for computer and technology. I'm not seeing anything here today. Yesterday, ARM93X earnings multiple overshadows its growth potential. Okay. All right, we like that one. So, oh, okay, that's actually not good. 93 times earnings multiple overshadows its growth potential. Not too good of a look there for ARM as you get the breakdown in WSHP. Now, METU starting to find its bounce. Obi, I'm glad that you got the shorts cooking up. Now, Meta might be my last attempt on there. And then we got Louise coming up momentarily, so we'll double check on that. We'll see what Bravely's up to. But one more attempt on this bad boy. Listen, we're pretty much flat on WSHP after all of those shenanigans. Should have just walked away after that one scalp city. Completely different story than what we're currently trading at. We got out break even, so you can see how much smaller our losses are than that one big W. Yes, Scott, what's going on? Adam, did you take a look at WSHP? That one was moving nice. ANF, that's a nice move there from Obi to the downside. Oh, 147 printing. What a breakdown. Strongest stock who, Obi said, as he found.
You were so confident when you were asking me, why would you short the strongest stock in the market?
Why would I?
You know how many times I've heard that?
But why would I not say it confidently?
No, that's what I'm saying. You know how many times I've heard that? People say that with confidence, and I'm just like, all right, cool. If you know what? If nobody's going to do it,
you could do it. So what's the probability?
That's a job for me.
What's the probability of shorting the strongest stock in the market? How often does that work out? It's a genuine question.
I think it has to be nuanced with a lot of other factors. I think that's a big part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't short it blindly, right? But yeah, if it's
as soon as you displayed what you showed me on the 15-minute.
Yeah, right. Obviously, I know people are getting in on that for sure.
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
But it's just like if sorry, Adara.
I was going to say there's a difference between being the strongest stock in the market and being up like 30+% on a report that was fine, but not like earth-shattering, and it's not Nvidia, right? It's what the stock is too. I would add to the nuance of that in terms of like, if this was Nvidia or whatever, maybe don't touch it. It's ANF, and there's nuance, and the chart supported it. So yeah, I think maybe what Obi was trying to get at.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
the nuances are totally different.
I can agree with that. Yeah, ANF is not NVDA. That is for sure. Yeah, let's send it over to the desk.
The SPY is now down 0.14%. Let's take a look at the sectors real quick over here. Electric tech, you have a bit of strength in the latter half, but you do have a bit of a drag down in Nvidia. That's down 1.5%. Broadcom down close to 2% on the day. MU was flat today, and so was Marvell, but you have strength in Apple, AMD, Cisco, not super crazy, but just not too bad here as well. ANET is up close to 4%. Tech services, you've Google that's down 2%, Microsoft, Meta, Oracle, Palantir in the green. PNW is flat as of right now. Accenture is down 2.5%. You have Netflix that is a bit towards the red as well. IBM following down close to 2%. Finance, a lot of flat names in this sector. Nothing too crazy of a reaction, but you do have a bit of a pull down in SCHW that's down over 2.5%, and Hood that is down 3%. Just want to check Coinbase here, also lagging, down close to 4%. Retail trade, Amazon and Walmart continuing to be a bit in the red. Costco, Home Depot are flat, with TJX downside 1.5%. But you have CVS that is up 1.5% and over. Producer manufacturing, as I just spoke, AMAT has turned flat, and LRCX is down 8%. CAT, GEV up on the day, and DE also up 1.3%. Health tech, however, Lilly is lagging heavily here. I would say 3.3% towards the downside. ABBV and MRK also sliding past the 1.5% mark. Amgen is flat on the day. J&J is down 1% almost. Energy, again, a bit of a strength in some of the names, but XOM remains flat. CVX is up 1%. You VLO and PSX that are up over and soaring 2.5%. Consumer durables, Tesla lagging down a bit here, past 1.5%. But consumer services, consumer non-durables, utilities, commercial and industrial sectors with process, if you all throw them together, are a mixed bag of stocks that are down, and most of them are flat on the day as of right now. But transportation is where I want to talk about. CHRW is up close to 6% on the day. UPS almost 2%. FedEx almost 2%. Uber, however, down 1%. Dash is close to 1%, could reach close to 1% at the end of the day. Finally, distribution. You have GWW up 2.2%, and MCK down 1%.
Thank you for that. Yeah, 209 there on NVDA. But yeah, to add to Obi's point, there's a couple of things where the stars align and sure enough can give you a little bit more conviction within this trade. Is he pointed this out, shooting star on the 15-minute. I'm like, oh, okay, that is a really good signal. And then as you go down to the lower time frames, double hammer up here. See you later on half decent volume. Now, actually, I'll take a step back because this is really key. Gaurav and I are always looking at this. So you can see this exhaustive volume print met by that indecision off of those highs. Really, really good call there on OB, especially around 152.45. So he's right in around the top. You can't get a better price. I don't even know if you can actually get a better price than what he got, OB, at 30 cents. But, I mean, we're not going to write home about that. Yeah, it was a really good. Obi, you're like you're 14 cents off of the high. That's a really good call out there, man.
14 cents off the high for what? Sorry, I just had to take a quick. No, I got
Abercrombie and Finch.
What's my average there?
Yes. 150. Okay, sorry, it's 154. Okay, but you still have a pretty good price, nonetheless. Sorry, I thought that was 154.45. But yeah, really good price on that one, and identifying a couple of things that made the stars align. Nice trade, man. A name that's up 34%. See those, regardless of what's going on here, you see a couple indecision prints around the highs. Takes the trade, boom, off to the races it goes at the break of the low. Oh, you played the break of that 15-minute candle pretty much too, didn't you? And then
I think that was, I mean, you could have played that, but that's not what I played. Okay. But yeah, that gave me more confidence once it did come in. But like I was talking way too much and didn't take as much size as I really should be. There's going to be my first, I already got my first cover, my secondary cover on top of VWAP there.
It's really breaking down, man.
Oh no, I already got a thing. Did I cancel that? What's going on? I swear I put in a cover on top of VWAP there. I guess so. This is coming right in right here.
We're liking that
into
really
VWAP.
nice.
Yeah, no. Sometimes we get a little bit lucky here. Who needs small caps when you've got mid to large cap madness and intraday moves from 154 to 145? How about that? You know, sometimes you get a little lucky on a $10 move, which is absolutely wild.
Is that what you got right
there? Well, I didn't catch $10 per share, but I caught the $10 leg on the move. A little bit improvement needed on the right side of the move. Come on, buddy. You got to do better than that. What is this? Subpar performance. I have no entries on the right side of the V, which is the biggest mistake here. So can definitely be doing much better here on the day. I'll take my piece off at VWAP. I did say I thought I put in an entry for a piece off.
Bro, zoom in on that so they could see your
oh yeah, it looks a little So I had this entry right here, which was a bit of a chase, and I was like, I'm gonna start dabbling in here, and then I had this one. And I posted. I actually posted 153s for the rest of what I wanted, and I'm like, come and fill me. Boom! It slaps down, and I'm like, I want to keep my average up here in the 150, like below 155, right? If we push 155, I was ready to get blasted on that and move on to the next trade. But yeah, very directional, very nice move on ANF coming in pretty cleanly. Don't really see a textbook kind of, I wouldn't say textbook reversion, But it definitely was pretty textbook on the 15-minute chart. I would say great one to write up and do your homework on, and we do it here for you live to the best of our abilities, trying to take some of these trades as well as I can. Even then, I'm making mistakes. I'm not getting as aggressive. I'm not pushing the foot down onto the pedal when things are working, and that was part of what I said yesterday. Remember something that I wrote down that I have a sticky note is like, when things are working, put the pedal to the metal, push it even harder, and see where it takes you. And that's something that I obviously did not do on this trade here. 145s incoming here on ANF. So yeah, nice little $5 move to the downside here. You know what? I'm going to cover maybe a little bit more.
Oh, but as you removed as you release your inventory, it went to your better price, first in, first out. So nice.
Yeah, exactly. So as I took off the initial piece here, I had shares left over from above 153. So now I have only shares left over from that second entry at 153. So that's why that average is changing, because it's first in, first out in our system. Unfortunately, I wish I could buy and sell specific inventory. It's better to wrap my head around things that way. Like if I bought shares at 150 and I bought shares at 152 and we're trading at 155, what if I don't want to sell the shares I bought from 150? I only want to sell the shares I bought from 152. I still want to keep my good inventory. I've always wanted to kind of do that.
I mean, if you
in
have
a very
multiple
plain kind of way.
If you have multiple accounts, you can do that, but
Yeah.
But if it's within the same, no.
Nice. So here's the thing: potential continuation for this ANF. Talk about a maybe what do they call it? They call it an FLS, maybe a fashionably late. I don't know if this sets up as one VWAP continuation. Whatever you want to put, whatever fancy names you want to throw down on some of these trades. A VWAP continuation trade. Let's see if we can get that here. Strong bid all day long. Sellers bring it straight into VWAP. Our buyer is going to step up on top of VWAP. As of right now, nothing too crazy. So we'll have to wait and see for that one. So nice little move on ANF. Got my trail on. If we pop, I know somebody in the chat was saying that they want to wait for a pop. Yeah, I was like, I want to wait for a pop too. But again, I keep saying this word over and over again. In this market, there is a lot of directionality that I'm noticing. When stocks get going in one direction, they barely have any relief and keep continuing in that direction, and sometimes with a lot of aggression as well. And yeah, you have these mini little chop and chop, but nothing convincing enough to really get in. And even on the sell side a lot more aggressive than the slow, steady grind up. Stair step up, elevator down, maybe more like an escalator down here on this one, and definitely stair steps up to all the way up to 155s here on ANF. So yeah, where's the next trade? That's what I'm looking for. Our other positions are also somewhat working for now, but yeah, I just wish I had more on ANF. We'll have to wait and see if it gives us a secondary trade. If we can reject VWAP, if we can hold below 145s, then I'll take a look a little bit lower. Looking back on the chart here as well, some structure on top of 154s. That's where we really got going from, right? We broke out of this 145 and some change area right here on that push with volume at around 1050 this morning. And that's where we started the run. Nice, slow, steady grind on an already strong earnings reaction. So interesting levels that we're coming into. That 148 break, man, that was absolutely solid. So hopefully y'all paid some attention to that 148 when I pointed out, hey, this may be a very key level on the intraday for this, that, and the other reason. And the break of that, very, very clean and directional to the downside as well on ANF. So I'll stop talking about ANF. Where's the next trade? That's what I'm looking for.
What's SpaceX doing? Down 1% here today, 0.9%. NVDA down 1.5% once again. Did it end its streak yesterday? I think it might have. Just barely inside day, but I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the past 9 sessions. 8 of them have closed red, and that is not a good sign leading into the earnings report, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, but I mentioned continues to sell. I know we talk about this
I would make the opposite argument. I actually think it's a really good look for NVIDIA leading into the earnings report because half the time, and Brian Shannon has said something to this effect in the past, I'm not going to quote him directly, but he said a lot of the times if you get a run up into earnings, you're probably going to sell off at earnings. Now, NVIDIA just came off, as you mentioned, that 7-day red streak that says worst selling streak since I want to say 2022. So the fact that we're kind of coming off that, I actually think that bodes a little bit better for NVIDIA than if we were crazy strong going into.
So you think because we've been weak for so long that there's a higher probability that it may move to the north side is what you're getting
I just think that I think it's less, I would say I would worry about it less in this position than I would if it's going to the upside. I don't want to talk about probabilities because I haven't done that research, though I do have an infographic sort of to this effect that will come out later today that I'll talk about on the wall. But yeah, I think that I want to say probability. I just want to say I think it feels a little bit more like we have the potential to go higher.
Okay. So I see what you're getting at there, and I think this might be a pretty good example here, Adair, that you might like think about Microsoft for quite some time, leading into one of its previous reports. I mean, it wasn't doing anything, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of the previous 8, 7 of its sessions were red. And then boom, off to the races it goes with a name that's been hit pretty heavy. And what I mean by when I say, hey, it's not looking great, shareholder, but also on the back side of things, the more it sells off, the more I get this discounted name at a better price. So that's what I'm looking at it from a shareholder perspective. This is never good, especially when you have some pretty strong runs. But hey, this could happen to fall into what we've seen in Amazon and with Microsoft, right? Where you were kind of beaten down at some point. You come in, the street finds something within the report that they really like, and next thing you know, you're up 5-10%. But again, we go back to the options chain, and this is the level. Clearly a pivot, 230 and 240. So what the derivatives market is telling me right now, and I could be totally wrong on that front, we'll go over it one more time. What you're seeing from a derivative side of things, where some of the larger participants are laying, is that it's going to be extremely difficult for us to breach $230, right? So it's going to be a repeat offender until proven otherwise. $230 is going to give us a little bit of trouble. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. But if we're going back on previous history, this amount of size will show that there's too much supply here, and it's going to make it extremely difficult for us to exceed that level. Not saying it's impossible, but it's going to make it difficult. And once again, the options market telling us 88% chance that we will not breach this level there, Obi.
For sure. Just talking about this chart here, especially if you're watching the 15-minute chart. So yeah, I'm just talking to some pod members about the ANF trade. Shout out to some of my friends there. They had the long. They actually captured a decent chunk of the long there through the 140 into the 150s as well. So shout out to that side of the trade. And I was like, hey guys, hey, listen, just pass the baton here and I'll take the leg the other way around. And boom, 154s to 144s now. Absolutely wild, almost $9 away from that second entry. Oh man, some of the best trades are just you don't even know. But it did give you a chance to get in 152s, 150s, 149s, and I'm not really pushing the pedal there. So not the best trade for me, but all right, cool. Let's stop sulking over this one. Let's look for the next one right here. I know some of you guys were trading Meta as well. I know Sean was in Meta as well. What is that? What did I just cover here? Oh, that's on Circle. Okay, cool. So Circle, I covered a piece there. On Circle, yeah, it's consolidating a little too much sideways there, even though it's looking good in terms of what I'm looking for. I want to see it continue to step down, 88 halves, 88. Maybe we get a break of 88 and then a retest rejection of that as well. It went back to the anchored VWAP from earnings, saying MS Stone. Ooh. That's a good one. That's a good look there. And you know why that's a good look there? It's because since they reported earnings in the pre-market, the anchored and the normal day VWAP is exactly the same. Exactly the same. So boom, right here. I'll throw the anchored VWAP to reinforce that point right here. You can see that's that anchored VWAP now in purple. It's it's exactly the same as the intraday VWAP. So that's the thing. When you anchor anything to a pre-market earnings report or a catalyst, the intraday VWAP is very, very likely to be similar, if not exactly the same, eventually there on ANF. So yeah, nice little beautiful reversion to VWAP. WSHP short. Hey Obi, hey Joe, happy hump day, saying Peter Hope there. So thank you very much. Happy hump day to you all as well, Peter.
Yes, sir.
WSHP short. I don't know. You've been the one trading that one.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? That was actually a nice short on the fail on the back through what is that? Back through 750s. That halt up. That first that first halt up through
750.
No, go more left.
Right here.
That halt price.
That
reference price. Once we traded back below that, boom.
And then the momentum.
720s as well. You could slap 720s with some serious size, and you get $1 off that on a $7 stock, bro.
Yeah, but by the time, like, again, I don't, I'd have to order shorts and then.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the beautiful thing about halts is that you have 5 whole minutes of the stock not trading to make sure you do some of that work. So yeah, no.
SOAR is looking good, some people say. Did you look at that one here today?
Yeah, of course. We've looked at SOAR a couple of times.
The narrative here, yeah.
Is it?
Pick out some steam. 30 cents.
I don't know. Talk to me again when we're above 36s. Yeah, we're above VWAP. I like that. Oh boy, what just happened? Okay. No, never mind.
New low of the day here for the Chip King.
The Chip King?
209.50.
Uh-oh.
Is there going to be this floor here? We'll go back to the chain and just keep this level.
Oh, for Nvidia.
Yeah. So 200 incoming. Oh, yeah. I definitely think 200 is a possibility within this name. Could be totally wrong. With that being said, there's a nice little bounce off of that 209.50 marker to the penny OB. What we were looking for in Meta is just not displaying itself right now. I mean, look at if you head over to the longer time frame within this name, you could just see that it's really, really stuck within this range. And when we do break out, you do want to see the volume follow it. Otherwise, it could give you a little bit less conviction of the actual trade setup itself. Look at this for quite some time. If you're running condors on this bad boy, you've been absolutely raking in the premium. It's nothing crazy from 53 cents on this. Shareholder of this as well too. So boom. Look at the ebb and flow on this, just bouncing off of this low. Clearly supply on both ends of the range, and they're just accumulating, which I think could be really positive for this name. Oh man. Yeah, I think watch out for it. Watch out. I'm saying it now. I mean, even though the Walmart call out didn't really happen the way we wanted it to. And don't forget, man, this is the market. Not 100% of your calls are going to be correct. And I don't have any issue with saying that, but the real important thing when it comes to making these calls is that when you're really right, you want to be extremely correct. And CrowdStrike was a name that worked out really well for us over time. So shout out to CrowdStrike. Walmart, Wally's World, just not being able to find any form of bottom. But this is an American staple, don't forget. So I think at some point it will be able to find its way to recovery. This could be a really good buying opportunity, down 22%. If it breaks the supply zone, like down 30%, don't forget there's going to be somebody on the opposite side of this thing buying all of this up, right? So as you have the distribution side of things, and then if it ever gets to the stage of public panic, then there's someone grabbing the shares on the other side of it. And I think Walmart is too strong of a company to completely fail over a span of a couple of months, Obi.
Yeah, for sure. Too big to fail, too strong to fail as well. And we know how they're kind of sitting in terms of like worldwide reach, right?
Yeah. I think
they're
it's just
in
so
many different countries here. What's happening with this DKS, man? Buddy's taking way too long here to work out. Your sideways consolidation, I know it has not hit my stop yet, but I'm starting to get a little bit impatient with getting timed out on the trade, taking a time stop because it's not that I can really be reallocating buying power elsewhere. That's not really the case, but I don't really want to stick around in something that's not working within the given frame that I expected it to work in. So a good example would be ANF working relatively soon after looking for the move and actually calling the 15-minute prior bar breakdown. as well on that one. That was picture perfect. But yeah, don't really see something like this very often. But again, in my opinion, I think it's one of the best reversions on the day. And you guys let me know if you guys see any better ones. I'm more than willing to kind of discuss that as well. Best reversion on the day, cleanest. It had a catalyst. It had earnings. It was aggressively bought up, overextended on a earnings report that, yes, they did extremely well, but nothing too crazy. And you already kind of experienced a very not parabolic, but a multiple level breakout move in a straight line up. Ooh. So yeah, that one pretty aggressive move there on ANF. So I really like that one. But let me know in the chat, do you guys see better reversions out there? This was on the 15-minute chart. Look how clean it is right there. Like right away you see that, Joe, and you're like short, right? Right away. When you see something like this, you're like, boom. Sellers potential for sellers to be here. Yeah. But yeah, I think not really seeing anything else as of right now. But I think we have a guest with us here. He's finally here, guys. Luis, how are you doing today?
Hello, guys. How are you doing?
What's going on, brother? How's everything?
It's good. It's good. It's been, a difficult start of the day for me. Mm-hmm. I was talking with Adara, focus on whatever you do the best and go bigger there. Yeah. And I made the mistake of not doing that, Sometimes you just don't follow your own rules, and I did today. So I traded Meta today on the opening. Yeah.
All right.
And I was going long there in the movement down. So I took a loss there for like 60% of my daily limit. And, the important thing is that we have the stop loss. So I cover all the position when I was losing 60% or 65% of my daily limit. I took 5 minutes break and then go back to work with whatever I do the best, and I'm green already for the day. So
hey, bang! That's what we're talking about.
That's how it is. That's how it is.
We appreciate the transparency there, Luis. Yeah. Before we get into the market,
we call that GFB. Do you guys call that GFB out there too? Gain from bottom.
Oh, okay. Gain from bottom.
Gain from bottom. So we call it. So that's
from bottom. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a great GFB there, Luis. That's what I'm trying to.
Good job. Before we get into,
we measure everything in our intranet. We measure the loss from top, accumulative from the whole month, the win from bottom as well. We measure. So yeah, the total loss, the total win, not only the profit, but some people win the match like 5-4, and some they win 1-0, So we also measure how much money you create and how much money you destroyed during the day.
Right. Good, perfect stuff. Nice. All right, before we get into some of these small caps, we'll talk about Meta momentarily. My question being, did you meet up with Sharif, Luis?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
How was that?
It was very good, man. It was a nice evening. Good. We were for a drink, then for a nice dinner in a cool place, and and he drank a couple of sangrias.
The Spanish sangria.
That diet of food, the protein, and all that went to shit when he was here. We were having dinner, drinking some alcohol, so it was good. It was good.
Sounds like a party. Man.
We'll get some more information from Sharif later on. But again, so let's get into some of these small caps, because what I've noticed, and even with the overall market right now, Luis, is a lot of sideways chop. And when it comes to small cap, you're looking for continuation, whether it be to the short side or to the long side. What I'm seeing here, and I know you like to look at the opposite side, the backside move here and the break through the volume-weighted average price, but there isn't much continuation to the long side here over the past couple of sessions. I'm finding personally WSHP runs into $8 almost, and then now you're south of the volume-weighted average price. Are you looking at this name today?
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. We are not seeing a lot of continuation in the stock. So whether if you're a long bias trader, I think you have to be very focused on the pre-market or just right the open, because after half an hour after the open or 1 hour, there is no continuation anymore. We were talking about this with Sharif yesterday. Like for me, if you are a long bias trader, it's very difficult to trade after the market open, because the probability, the statistics says that after the market opens, there are very, very few stocks that keep running. So it is better to trade long bias, like 2 or 3 hours before the market opens until the opening bell, and then try to look for the fade in the stocks that are already weak because they have seen highs and all the short squeeze and all that thing.
Yeah, so you can see here, Luis, we tried a couple of scalps on this, and we're just reading the tape through this break. We were fortunate enough, and then we get small stop outs here, another small scalp, but then I was looking for the continuation for that $8 test, and then sure enough, as soon as that tape flipped, I'm like, all right, let's get out of here. And I think one thing that we can correlate this with, which I do believe we can, is because it's displayed and the data is genuine, is that the volume started to pick up. So are you looking at some of these moves here? If it fails a break of a certain level and you see the volume by time really start to pick up, were you looking to fade this name at any given point today?
Yeah, I already looked for a fade. Look, this was my trades on WSHP. I will long here because I was expecting to hold these levels and reclaim the VWAP and the highs. So I took a small long there. I'm not very good taking longs. Well, I'm good taking them, but not holding them for long enough. So I was long there. I closed. I reversed my position short here against these highs. I thought it was going to reject the 7 very, very hard, and it did actually. And then I made a mistake here. I thought it was going to reject again, maybe not the 7, but 710, 720s. And I didn't see that the limit up, limit down was there. So I got stuck in a halt with a short position. I covered pretty quick over there. And I'm going short now. That is below VWAP. You can see I'm shorting all the way down here. So it was probably one of the easiest stock today, even though I made this mistake of not checking where was the limit up, limit down to avoid the halt moment.
Perfect. Now, before we send it over to Obi here, you were talking about Meta not too long ago. Now, regardless of what the actual catalyst was this morning, which I do believe is extremely influential, and I'm surprised that we're not continuing to appreciate, but that's neither here nor there. What were you thinking is my question number one here in regards to Meta. I know you're looking at the short. And then my question number two is, do you look at some of these leverage products, like a vehicle that I specifically use? I took 2 L's on this. It's METU. So what were you thinking? And do you like trading any form of leverage products is my question to you.
Actually, I shouldn't trade blue chips at all, large caps, because I'm not good at it. And if I had, I think it's a good call to do the leverage product. You can, because of the price, the level 2 is a little bit easier to get out with big positions. When you trade Meta, it's like $500, $600, whatever. The spread, sometimes you don't get fill. You have to pay the spread, you get partial fill. So it's a little bit difficult sometimes to trade those ones. So if ever I trade blue chips, I should do with the leverage products. I was waiting this, I think it was $600 to fail in the pre-market, in the opening, let's say. Sorry, it didn't load. Hold on. There you go. I was thinking it was going to fail this 600, but I couldn't get a proper fill there to go short. And then, don't ask me why, I tried to buy these supports and pre-market highs here. I started to buy here, cover the loss, try it again here in 575, cover the loss, buy here again, took the loss on the low of the day, and then I said, okay, that's enough. So it's better to stop when you are doing something wrong, to stop and don't get stubborn.
Yeah, no, I like the fact that you said, hey, you hit a certain threshold within your max loss, and then you just get up, cool down for a couple of minutes, and then get right back into working and looking for that next high quality setup. I think that's a big part of the reason why you had the ability to turn your day around. You remain level-headed, stick to the game plan, and sure enough, going red to green is definitely a good feeling. Yes, that's for sure. All right, yeah, so those were my questions here. I still have my eyes on a couple of these small cap names looking for continuation. As I mentioned, I don't really see anything overly attractive. I guess it is back to school in the States, so volume's starting to cool down. But other than that, Meta, no continuation either. So it's been a pretty choppy mess. One last thing, actually. I know you say you don't want to trade some of these blue chip names and the growth stocks, but are you going to be paying attention to NVDA's earnings this evening?
Not in the aftermarket, maybe tomorrow in the pre-market and in the open, but only if it's trading out of the range, like I think it was 205 below that or over 230 or something like that. If it's trading within that range, I think I will not trade it. And I will trade it only if it's a lot of noise and movement up and down, not if it's trending like ANF today or other stocks, that with earnings, it's trending a lot. For me, it's very difficult to forecast when it's going to stop. Sean is doing very good but it's not my skill. I took the short as well as, let's see this one, ANF.
Oh, you did? You took the short?
You took the short?
Yeah.
Let's go. Nice.
Oh, nice.
I had a piece of that short as well.
Full size, but yeah, look at that field.
Beautiful.
Here. Short here, and I was covering all the way down here. And I tried a little bit long here. I thought was going to reclaim the VWAP at some point, but it didn't. So I get out all around the VWAP there for a small win again. But the good one was this one. I didn't hold as much as I should have, but it's okay. And look at AirDeep right now. Whoa, what a nice trade. I was short here right now with you guys live. I was shorting here. Look, it's going to reclaim the $15 level now. So that was a nice stock today, RDAV. And the easiest probably was XPON. Look at that. That was an easy stock to trade. Short there, getting out everything in the VWAP. Try a starter, a small starter here. At the same, same pattern as WSHP. I thought was going to fail this high. So I took a small starter here. I was wrong, halted, I didn't up there, and I up all the way down here. And I'm still holding, like 20% of the position right now. So let's see if we close below 7, maybe red during the day, who knows?
Yeah, for sure. I think I really like the trade on that ANF. Good stuff there. Had a similar kind of a trade as well. So I guess were you watching the show at the same time, or?
Yeah, I was watching the show.
Nice. Good stuff. I mean, you hit the right side of that V perfectly. Like, I don't know if you saw it on the 15-minute chart, but it's like ANF on the 15-minute chart is absolutely beautiful. Like, this is what we were talking about. Like, I love to look for this stuff. But like, look, you have like prior bars, like holding very strong, and you get the first red bar, and then right away, I know you were watching the tape as well, but when it hit that 154, like the tape definitely started changing as well. So really like that trade. It seems to be coming in quite nicely. I'm still holding on to a piece, but yeah, no, it's definitely difficult to hold on to anything on something as aggressive as this, man. I think absolutely solid.
We have to learn from Sean about that, about holding.
Yeah, about holding. Yeah, exactly, right? So there he is.
Yeah, you, man. Closing like 2%, closing 2% of the position, which is crazy,
Exactly.
I was like, I did this trade not because the mean reversion. I think it's very, very tough to trade mean reversion in large caps,
Yes.
The balance between winning ratios and risk reward is very tough because how many times you try to get the mean reversion and you're wrong, you have to cut your loss. And, when you're right, whether you go 2 times or 3 times size or you hold much longer. So I think it's very, very difficult. I tried this one only because of the level 2. I saw this 153.50. They were trying to break it here. It was a huge refreshing here.
Yep.
And I thought, okay, if it fails the high of the day, I'm going to try to hit more on this 53.50 because there was a huge refresher. I thought, okay, this is the level that might be the end of the movement. I couldn't get more fills, but at least I got something on the high of the day.
Perfect. Yeah, I think we're seeing similar things there on the tape. Yeah, there was definitely a buyer, and buyer was also kind of stepping up as well. And then 153s, some interesting action in and around there as well. So yeah, good stuff there as well. I think I was looking at one of these small caps here. I know we talked about XPON and SOAR. I think it was LGCL here. No, not this one. Although this one seems like it was pretty nice very early on. For that short, I think it was ZCMD. Something. It was one of the ones that broke down pretty aggressively off of in the morning here. Some of our viewers were talking about it yesterday as well. Yeah, DAIC. Sorry, I'm sure you've heard of this one. You know, it's been kind of in play over the past couple of days. Crazy Halt Fest on Monday. Definitely bring it in on people's radar. But I heard you saying earlier that you're risking against those prior highs. So did you see anything on this today? Because it pretty much rejected some of those prior highs, and it even gave a clean breakdown here. But I want to know what your opinion on something like this is on a day 2 or day 3 type of action. I wish I would have traded, but we don't have locates on this one. It was very, very expensive to locate, but it was such a clear trade. Yes. When it fails here in the open, you can see it fails 650 high of the pre-market, and after so many days going up, look, it's from 0.40 to $7 almost. It failed there. It was already a nice short, but then you got this one and this one, the fail of highs here, and the VWAP break here on 6 round number. That was so easy, but locates were, in my opinion, too expensive to take the trade. Even in the best scenario, you're making like $1 and 50% of it is going to the locate. So for me, it's not worth it. Yeah, no, that's always rough, right? That's pretty unfortunate. Our firm is pretty good with the locates. Most of the time, but yeah, that can be pretty unfortunate. But yeah, I was looking at this today and I was like, hey, that was pretty clean. But yeah, no, thank you for pointing that out. So Obi, Luis has an individual, I believe. I'm checking the price. I'll make this point, Luis, and then I think we'll be able to touch on this a little bit better. So Luis, a while back, Obi, was telling Sharif and I the fact that he has a trader on his floor and has collected the data. The more the locates cost, the higher profit factor he received on his specific trades. So he was gaining more. So the locates cost more, profit factor increased. Cheaper locates, the risk to reward wasn't the exact same thing in a lower profit factor. I guess that kind of makes sense. Right. The stocks that are probably good opportunities to short, there's demand for those borrows, and therefore the price of those borrows goes up as well, right? Do you think that's the reason why? Yeah, and also because when you have free locates or very, very cheap locates, the amount of people that go in short and the size is huge. So the winning rate, if you are like very aggressive with tight stops, it is very likely, because there is so many people short with huge positions, that it is very likely that a short squeeze happens, and it goes too high of the day, they kick you out, and then it goes down. When the locates are mid-price, that's the best scenario, because there is no such a big position short in the market. So for whoever is trying to push the market to the highs and to the lows, it is not so profitable to push the highs because there is not so much volume up there, right? So, and when the locates are very expensive, the trade works, but 50% of the profit goes to the locate, so it's not worth it. So in the midterm, in the middle price is the most profitable strategy when you are shorting small caps right now. Okay, yeah. So we gotta find that sweet spot. Yeah, you gotta find the sweet spot. Okay. You know what? I don't want to go too far back in time because there's nothing we can change there, Obi. But remember how hot this stock was at some point, Luis? And I think I recall you had Car. Do you remember this whole fiasco over here from $840 in the span of a couple of trading sessions all the way down to $186, losing 80% of its value in a short period of time? Luis, I believe you guys over there in Barcelona were getting involved with that name. So we're waiting for that next opportunity, Obi, to see what name could that potentially be. What do you have on your radar for the future? Is there anything specific that you're looking at here, Luis? Well, I think you cannot forecast what's going to be the next parabolic movement, right? And for me, I'm not good to trade in these kind of movements because the same as I said before, I remember perfectly trying Car, of course, and I tried like 3 or 4 times, before the movement happened. Let me see here. I tried, I think like the day before it happened here, I tried and I was kicked out because I was shorting here. I was making money and in the open I was kicked out. And then I think I tried again here in the 650s or something like that.
and I got kicked out again, you know. So let's say 2 tries here. So if you are right the next time, it's 33% winning ratio, but you have to make at least at risk reward 5-1 or 6-1 to make everything back. So whether you hold the trades for very long or you go with bigger size, but if you go with bigger size and you're wrong the 3rd time, you're done. You're not gonna make it back, you know, because the next time you will have to go bigger and hold more. So since I am not very good trader holding for a whole day the position, look at that, was like for almost $300 tanking movement. Because I'm not that good holding, I have to be right at the first time. Like today, Abercrombie, I was right the first time, and then I made money. But if I'm wrong and I have to take a second chance, I will only make back probably the loss or a little bit more, you know? So it's difficult balance between winning ratio, risk reward, and position sizing in this kind of setups.
For sure, yeah. Thank you very much, Luis. We got a super chat for you by Zion Lala here. Luis, always good feedback. You got our boy Sharif. Send him back. LOL. He's enjoying too much. You got to send Sharif back. He's having too much fun. That's what Zion Lala is saying.
I think he returned today.
He's back today. Okay.
He flew today. Yeah.
Okay. That's good. All right. So Zion Lala, don't worry. Sharif is coming. He's on his way back.
But he's coming back. He liked this so much. He's coming back next year for 1 week, not only a couple of days.
Wow. Yeah. Maybe we should make the trip with him.
I have to sign off on that.
Yeah. Exactly.
No.
I would love to come check your floor out. Meet up with some of the other traders as well. I think it would be an amazing experience for sure.
No, it would never been such thing.
Thank you.
Wait, no, but hold on. Luis wasn't too far away from us not too long ago. I believe earlier in the summer you were in Michigan, were you not?
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I was in Michigan and Ohio, but I couldn't find the time to go there. I was visiting my daughters that they were living there, and distance there, it seems like you are close, and when I checked, it was like 10 hours drive. So
That's all good.
For me, it's like crossing the whole Spain for.
Exactly. I mean, you can drive endlessly almost from east and west here in Ontario and still take multiple days to get out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, fantastic stuff, Luis.
I had a question for you, Luis. What's your opinion on swing shorting small caps on the right side of the move? Like after the hype is kind of done, and then when that buying is kind of out of there, getting involved for the backside of the move on a swing basis. What's your opinion on that? Do you like any thoughts?
I won't do that ever.
Never?
Even if you are on the right side, you're right. You cannot short front side something and hold it for a swing trade because it's very risky. Even in the right side of the V, as I like to call it, you cannot hold overnight a short. For me, it's you can make a lot of money, but it takes you only once that you're wrong and you have a halted or it opened the next day like $50 above the price, that your career is done. And I always, when I started trading when I was 22, I always thought, look, I don't want to become a millionaire. I want to have this job forever until I'm like 70, whatever, So if you want to, I consider this as a marathon. And if you want to keep alive and you want to keep trading next day, you have to avoid this kind of blow up situation.
Absolutely.
Shorting small cap and holding overnight, it's very, very risky. It will work 95% of the times, but it takes only one to blow your whole account and your career. So I will not do it. I want to sleep, calm and
in peace. Yeah, for sure. No, that makes a lot of sense. You don't want to risk ruin if you want to have a very long career. Perfect. Great answer. Thank you very much, Luis.
Thanks, Luis. Looking forward to more conversations.
And I have to thank you from deep of my heart. We have the course full already. Okay, we took only 8 people, and it's already full, and there is a huge waiting list. So we will do.
All right, nice.
Or in a couple of months, we will do another one. And you are more than welcome, guys, to join the course, of course, and maybe you learn something around.
For sure, yeah,
Sounds
100%,
good, man.
yeah.
Sounds good. We might have to take him up on that.
Listen, if we're coming next year, which it sounds like maybe we will be, we'll definitely be taking that course before we come.
Well, okay, but see, I don't have the sticky note anymore, and I seen you tag Sharif and I on X, Luis, in regards to the little bet that we had, which I do believe Sharif ended up winning. So I mean,
what was the bet?
The deal was, we were going to see what a name that had halted for multiple days was going to open up at.
Okay.
And if I was correct, I caught a free flight to Barcelona, courteous of Luis. But unfortunately, I didn't win the bet. Sharif did, hence why he's there. Right
okay, all right.
No, I'm joking.
But listen,
we'll
he
fight
got a
there.
present. He got a present. So
Yeah.
he will show you next Wednesday, I think.
All right.
Okay.
So he got a present for the bet.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Nice.
good stuff. Thank you, Luis. Thank you very much. We'll have some more conversations come next Wednesday. Best of luck trading to you, my friend.
Thank you.
Obi.
Take care, Luis.
See you, brother.
Thank you
have a good
very
one.
much, guys. Take
Thank you.
care.
Nice, yeah, good stuff there. Yeah, I'm happy. He's dabbling in some of the mid to large cap.
Yeah,
as well.
he
I like
has
that.
been for a while.
He
You trade the
banger
memories as
trades
well,
on,
too.
like he's definitely sniped that ANF on the right
Yeah, he
side.
did,
for
man.
sure. Yeah,
He did.
definitely.
Good luck there.
ANF still holding up, man. Still holding underneath that 144. Yeah, I covered maybe a little too much on the 145, but this is what I'm looking for. I want to re-engage. I want to see sellers come back in. All right, it's just a little too far, too fast. I understand, the aggression, the bid, the reason why it might be up or whatever. But I think the reversion when it did come in absolutely clean and beautiful.
Bro, it was up like 34%. When I looked, it was like 34%.
34% on the day? Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you measure it from prior day's close, I like to just be like, if it's up on the day, I want to measure it from the open because, I'm not really doing too much in the pre-market. So intraday move was over almost 17.5% intraday. So yeah, definitely up above 36 on 32 right now, even with that 6-7% pullback right here. So this was absolutely beautiful. 7.77% pullback off of those highs, almost $12 down off of that 154 area. So beautiful, beautiful stuff there. Wish I took some more, but where's the next trade? It is what it is. I got to do better with the next ones. That's all that we can do. 2NY sent asking, Obi, are you born and raised in Cali? No, but I was partially raised in Cali. I lived in Cali for, I think, a couple of years in Cali. We lived in Fresno for a bit, and I think I frequented San Francisco every now and then because we had some family living there as well. So road trips to San Francisco were quite frequent. But all the way in Fresno, if you guys know where that is. Not any big city, but in Fresno, it's a quiet town. It's a quiet town. It's nice. It's not bad.
We got a super chat here.
Oh, he's saying that the whatever you say gives it up is from Cali. Really? Is that like a Cali thing? The whatever. Is this stereotype? Maybe, yeah. I've been influenced in all sorts of ways. From the States, we moved around like a lot growing up. I've lived in Cali, I've lived in Kansas, I've lived in Nevada. Las Vegas was probably the best place to live as a kid because after my dad would come home from work, we'd just go for a walk out on the strip. Maybe every now and then go to Aladdin or Circus. It was a lot of fun all the time. So. But yeah, the States was fun.
And that specific Vegas story, when you told it a couple of years ago when I first started, is what made me think you were from the U.S. So I think there maybe are multiple anecdotes that you share that give the U.S. tinge.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, definitely. Adam James Abroad, thank you for the super chat. Oversold earnings sell-off, short squeeze. That's a lot to pack into one
Look
sentence
at all the
right
halts
there.
in this thing.
Let's see.
That's not even, it's like illiquidity, right?
Oversold earnings sell-off into a short squeeze. Huh. Okay, interesting. How much volume did this thing do? This thing barely does 1 million volume per day, right? So yesterday it did relative volume. Maybe, you're looking for a breakout of that opening range high. Definitely a bit of squeezing action right there. So if you're watching the tape, on that, maybe that confirms your suspicion that, yeah, this might be actually really squeezing. But yeah, good look there. Not really watching it too much. So Adam James abroad, good luck to you on that one if you're involved with a little bit of that squeezing action as Gorilla Technology Group continues to the upside. Noah Ludwin in the chat, thank you very much for the super. SPY above 765.22 squeezes up. Man. Here we go, $sign. All right, let's see if the spider is actually doing any sort of a squeeze. What did you say? 765.22s. That's weirdly specific. Interesting. Where you may be getting that from, I have no idea. But you're saying that if we trade above it, we're squeezing? Hopefully. I don't know. Good luck to you. We've been making lower highs and lower lows on the SPY. I don't say that to necessarily burst your bubble, but that's just something that's been happening on the chart. I do see that we did break down opening range low, and we've reclaimed all the way back up to VWAP, which may, some people might perceive that as, a better, more bullish sign to take higher. I have no idea. But what I see is that, yeah, VWAP's not the cleanest, but we have been selling off a little bit. But sideways chop is what I'm seeing on the SPY, man. Sideways chop. We had that opening range pretty wide on the NASDAQ, and since then, that range has only been tightening up. Sure, the SPY is a little bit, has been moving slightly differently when it comes to compared to the NASDAQ QQQs. I just looked over at my positions. I'm like, hey, wait, that's not supposed to be happening. But DKS, I already got out of a decent chunk here. And I was like, why is that almost, decent chunk out of the money? Whatever. Stops above 130. So we'll let that cook there with the final shareage there. Here we go. But this is what I mean on the NASDAQ. Just looking here at the Qs, very wide range to start off with. Everything else that's been after that, pretty tightened up. So sideways range is what I'm seeing on that one, Adam James. But good luck to you if you're looking for a potential long there.
Yeah, we're in some meta at just above the volume weighted average price. I mean, I was looking at it at the lower end of this consolidation. Now I have to sit through this pullback here. But again, we're printing 19s on the bid. This is METU, the leverage product. That's why we post up right at the volume weighted. I wasn't going to punch it all the way up here. I know some people were thinking long at the break of VWAP, but it's just the momentum so slow. And then sure enough, imagine I punched out here and then automatically you're just out of the money 8 cents, which is not something that I was looking for. Now we need some form of recovery, because if the VWAP sellers step right back in, then it's going to make this trade significantly more difficult. But yeah, honestly, there's nothing I could do on GRRR there. Oh, wow. Volume really is starting to pick up, though. Good call out. I know you're hitting the boom on that one. So where we're starting to see it step in is in this $15 marker, 17, almost 16 bucks. And it doesn't look like it wants to slow down. Good call out on the short float as well. So things can most definitely turn. Pardon me?
What's the short float?
17%.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not small, not the biggest either that we've seen, but it's better than nothing. Yeah, exactly. So nice move. 16 bucks and change might be incoming on GRRR. Good call out there, Adam. Thank you very much for that super chat. Now we have another one, $10. Dave's really risk on dumb NVDA overnight trades. Drum roll, please. NVDA call 1016. Two of my favorite numbers. 1016, and then 240 and NVDA call at the 220 marker usually never goes up. But let's get more into this because it's option talk. We're going to go over to Adara and then we'll come back, Dave, and we'll talk more about your potential setup here, or the setup that you have now constructed via the options chain in regards to NVDA. Adara.
I'll be quick. I want to talk some NVIDIA as well here, guys. So we're seeing some reports going back to about half an hour that Nscale, a private company, will be partnering up here with Anthropic, another private company. But I'm seeing some public companies mentioned, including NVDA. Now, I just saw apparently Nscale, through this deal, is going to be using NVIDIA's Vera Rubin chips, which will start to come online late 2027 in order to meet the needs of Anthropic. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that one, Adara. Okay, so let's get right back into this. Risk on dumb NVDA overnight trades. Drum roll, call 10-16-26. We're going to expire 240 and NVDA call 220. So you're buying both of those strike prices. Usually never goes up earnings, but will beat top and bottom. Though I do agree. I think the numbers are going to come out phenomenal. Now, I think the question being, in my opinion, and can be subjective, is how much are you going to be buy? So you're going to need some form of surprise step in with this name. But listen, we could talk about the numbers. We could do all of those things. But and again, I could be wrong. There's always the chance, the probability that, hey, you might be extremely wrong. This is a major issue for me, okay? Times that by 100, and that's how many potential shares are out there waiting at this specific zone. We need to exceed the expected move in order to run into this. And then by that point, has the momentum cooled down? Now, listen, you can go on some crazy short squeeze. If the demand is absolutely nuts, you can see something along those lines where you just go absolutely insane. You break through key pivots, you run through supply zones and run into that next zone, which would be $10 higher at 240. But I've noticed it's a repeating pattern in this name specifically, is that these hold up relatively well. Somebody knows something in order to put that amount of size, and I'm not saying it's one specific participant, it could be multiple participants at that, but 195,000 contracts. We've been keeping an eye out on this specifically for quite some time leading into the report, and we don't typically see this throughout other names. Don't forget, when it comes to options volume, SPY, NASDAQ, NVDA in the world of derivatives. SpaceX came to market and it was going nuts and it would finish within the top 5. But watch out for this. Again, for the sake of being a shareholder, I hope that I'm wrong. But also on the positive side of things, if it does decide to sell down to the 190s or the 200s, well, I get to own more shares at a cheaper price, all right, and a slightly better valuation. So that's where I stand. I don't think it will do 240, Joe. Don't need it to. Yeah, totally fair. Totally fair. I mean, if you're in the options game, you don't need it to climb that high. Let's see if we get some continuation here in META as we're pulling back. Maybe no move north of VWAP. It would just put in a lower high. We'll be patient to wait for this move back into $230. I agree. Positioning orders rules, Nvidia price actions, too many calls, bought, dealers sell the rally gap and crap. Yeah, and that's where I'm standing. I'm like, listen, I'm just going by what I've noticed from before and previous market movement within this name specifically. Now, what we will do is head over to our expected move, and we'll just see what we got going on here. Expected move. No, don't do this. What are you doing, Meta? No continuation through VWAP, so those sellers stepping in. Not too good of a look. We'll be patient and hold on to it for a little bit longer, but we don't want it to go too far against us. Then it drastically skews our risk to reward, which we might have to hop out here momentarily on this name. 3 attempts on Meta and no continuation. Congratulations to Sean, though. He got that move. We took a couple attempts on it bright and early, but just wasn't patient enough for it. But here it is, a high of around $221, 5.7% expected move here leading into the earnings report. 198 of a low and 221 as a potential high. So keep an eye out on this name. Obviously, we're going to be giving you full coverage leading into the report. For price appreciation and for the long shareholders, I do truly hope that it does go on a little bit of a run. Whoa, Palantir.
Yeah, Palantir. I thought it was halted for a second. I was like, wait, no, there's no way it's halted. It's still trending up here. So a bit of a breakout. So had the short earlier, and I was like, yeah, holding that 174 and just not really doing what I'm looking for the continuation of the reversion. And I was like, yeah, getting out in this consolidation as it just chops around 175s and then boom. Straight through the highs there, 177.40s coming in on that. So yeah, shout out to anybody who had the breakout on that. That's coming in quite nicely, almost $1 off the bat. If you did attempt to take the breakout at 176.23s of the prior high of day, it went right away and gave you 177.40. So shout out to anybody who took that scalp there on Palantir here. Yeah, MF Dangerous. There you go. You got a couple people here. Walter Sisk saying, look at Palantir. Brian Hart in the chat saying, Palantir, number one. And then MF Dangerous as well coming in with the PLTR. Arun Warrior saying Palantir wants 180. Mark his words.
Oh.
We'll mark your words. It's not that far away. It's only a couple strikes away, if anything, right? 180. We're at 77 halves, right? 7 halves, and then you got the 80s.
A strike away, man.
Yeah,
it might even. Some names have dollar increments now.
No, I know. It's a couple, just a couple.
Yeah, there's
it's a rough estimate. So yeah, well within range of that.
177. It's one. Yeah, it's one strike. Like, one strike away.
Yeah. So boom, probably goes 7/2 and then 80s.
Yep.
Yeah. So 180 right there, prior day highs. So okay, I've marked your words. Now I'm just waiting. We'll see if that 180 comes in. Good luck to anybody who is participating in that one here. What else am I seeing? Moderna cracking fresh lows on mRNA as of right now. So doing more of the same. Look at the aggression of the selling that comes in off of the open, off of VWAP, off of the break of opening range lows, and then now another attempt at a fresh day low. 145.86 as of right now. Something's happening in the market.
I'm not seeing anything.
Not seeing too much. I mean, I didn't see any funky tape movements, so that's usually a good indicator when something just rushes in. I'm usually watching a couple of
volatility is
large caps.
Intel volatility is in Intel though.
Intel specifically.
Yeah. Intel specifically.
Okay, so let's take a quick look at INTC here. Okay, a little bit of a pop move there. 88s on the offer. Let me just quickly. I got to be looking through some news as well at the same time. Boom, boom, boom. President Trump, GOF, not that.
So I checked Truth. It's not a Truth Social post. There's also not many mentions of it on social media, which is interesting to me given this move. Like we have one per minute, which for a move like this, usually that's a bit light.
Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe just give it a little bit of time, but the volume is definitely supporting it. Somebody might know something. So some inside information leaking, maybe potentially 84.69. Ooh, that's no 87.35, and then just kind of goes crazy. Yeah, this meta trade not looking too good. We want to see this hold up here. If we don't break through VWAP relatively soon, could just be a false break, and that'll be it for me on the day. 20 minutes left. Obi, you're still in ANF. Nice. Is that still bleeding? And
that is still bleeding. I wish I had more. Again, man, like I said earlier, I guess Luis also mentioned this. It's hard. It's definitely tough to hold on to some positions at times, and a decent chunk of the position as well. I mean, I already told you what I'm more disappointed at. I'm not as disappointed from my hold. I don't have much of an issue with my exits. I have more of an issue with my entries and the lack of entries on the right side of the V. I think that's very important. And again, 153 is funny enough. Luis did mention that 153, and I told you guys I was posted on top of 153s when that right side came in, and best believe I did not get printed on that 153, and 152s came in with one fell swoop all the way down into 150. So boom. Nice continuation happening. 145s as well. I did say holding underneath VWAP might be worth another stab at this for a continuation. That's working out very well as we slowly but steadily creep in to that 140 level, coming into that 142. So 142s, is it a level from before? Yeah, it's the opening range high, 142. So do I expect a little bit of turbulence at opening range high? Absolutely. It bounced off $2 off the opening range high already from 142s to 144. So another retest of that 142, maybe some confirmation for some of y'all looking for more information. So we'll wait and see if that actually comes in. I'm being patient here. Yeah, Intel continuation there. So yeah, maybe something is happening here with Intel. Second leg up with volume that does kind of match that of the prior bar there. So aggressive volume, towering above that of pretty much the rest of the day. You only have two bars that are really higher than these two bars, and that's the opening bar and then another bar at around 10.18. What's up, Adara?
The executives are participating in a Deutsche Bank conference. They're doing a fireside chat that kicked off at 1:35, so 7 minutes ago. I have not seen any comments from this fireside chat, though, nor can I confirm who's at said fireside chat. I'm going to look at their website, get some more information. But usually these events, I would say pretty much always, unless it's an investor event held by the company, they're not going to be on camera. So any comments that we get will just be filtered through on X. I find that Usually at these events, again, this is different from what we saw with SanDisk on Investor Day or AMD on Investor Day. It's not run by the company. It will not be in camera, and it's very unlikely that we will get any commentary until the very end or from investors in the coming days. But that's all I could find here. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I got stopped out of DKS here. Just noticed that I did, so let's pull that one up and see what happened there on DKS. So yeah, I mean, you traded above 2.5, the 29 halves. That's where my stop was, but you can see I already kind of piecing off the position. For roughly small losses to break even, and then taking a loss on that last little bit as we pull back up. So not really the move I'm looking for. I even said this is taking way too long, so I'm going to start taking pieces off. I don't need to give the rest to my stop when it's already telling me, $1 before my stop gets hit that this is probably likely not going to work. So not bad there. Sure, I could have definitely taken it all off, but I wanted to keep some on just in case I wanted to re-engage on that one. So DKS, shopping around that 129.5, not really too concerned with that one anymore. So where is the next trade is what I'm asking. PLTR took a dump. Really, did it? PLTR, let's see. Wasn't it just, oh boy, wow, look at that.
No
That's
way.
absolutely beautiful there. So talk about a reversion once again. Maybe I like the reversion better now that we're rejecting 178s. Might have gotten a little too crowded too fast with that expanding volume and that push there. Is it? So here's the thing. Whenever I see bouts of volume come in, the first question that I ask myself is, I can be a little skeptical at times. Is it sustainable? And if so, how long are they going to be able to sustain this type of elevated volume without any news or catalyst? Second question. Third question, is the tape stalling? I wasn't watching it, but best believe that tape probably stalled pretty nicely at 177.70s, if not a little bit higher, and then slamming right back in. So yeah, I like that. Wasn't watching it, but this is the kind of stuff I really like to revert at times because there's no reason for the volume to come in, and it's not a sustainable kind of action. So probably a couple people just getting their business done, throwing their orders in, and the market very likely to correct itself if there's nothing really happening. Now, if there is something happening, then that's a whole different story. So I have no idea. What's up, Adara?
I want to go over this Intel move again here because I did get some more details. I also just posted this in X at TTV Research if you want to see for yourself. But basically, Lip-Bhutan's not there. It's David Zinsner, who was the former co-interim CEO of Intel. So he was at one point an Intel CEO, but he hasn't been a CEO of Intel in at least 18 months. And again, when he was CEO of Intel, it was in an interim capacity. He's currently, though, Executive VP and CFO of Intel. He's there alongside Corporate VP John Pitzer. So Lip-Bhutan's not there. Again, we don't know what comments are being said at this Deutsche Bank fireside chat at this technology conference, but apparently they will focus on, quote, Intel's business and strategy. So I wish I had more for you guys, but as always, I will share everything that I do have. Back to you.
Thank you very much.
Some good short signals there on Intel as well. What would you have to give it from a risk standpoint? 50 cents, 60 cents.
Oh,
you
yeah,
keep it tight.
Yeah, 25, 88,
yeah,
25.
yeah.
I thought I read 55s first.
Yeah, that's what I would look to give it. But yeah, the exact same thing that you were kind of just building your previous thesis off of there, Obi. Is this sustainable on Intel?
Yeah,
and what we're
exactly.
displaying from a price action standpoint? Is this going to be a move back in? Why not put our money where our mouth is and maybe see if we can find a little something here on Intel. I would like to see a little bit of a pullback here into the middle of this range. Like 88 could be a good opportunity to get involved. So I have Intel on my mind waiting for this pullback to potentially 87, 90s, and then we'll look to engage for maybe a little bit of a move back in towards VWAP because it looks like it wants to fade at this point. So may as well go with the flow on that one. METU is like not me, it's not him. It's not. It's truly not, man. Meta, no continuation, especially after the news that stepped in bright and early this morning. VWAP sellers stepping in here, Obi pushing price down. 2024 is where we're having an issue breaking through on Meta. That is now $579 is going to be that pivot high. Katina Man's in off of those lows with the reload up into $588. So that was a really nice move. No continuation thus far, but we're not going to count it out until we break the lower end of this range here.
Yes, sir. So it seems like that 142 does want to come in here on ANF as we slowly but steadily continue to sell off. nice little grind lower, but the volume's not the same as before. It's not as aggressive as the selling we got into VWAP. And we did accept some price in and around VWAP. We got that consolidation, you know, maybe some acceptance lower, and now we're trading even lower as well. So this is an interesting area for this reason, 142. That's that opening range high, that 2-minute high, 5-minute high, opening range, whatever you want to call it. That range break was absolutely mint on ANF today. If you're watching this and you're like, ANF has earnings, take a look at this flag. Flat top break, higher lows, building up into it. Now, of course, I'm not watching the tape on this thing, but if you are watching, I bet you're seeing the selling getting absorbed and buyers stepping up and finally some aggression and some volume through the breakout of that 142. And that was a key area. That's where the rest of the move, like the continuation, came off of. We had a buildup of pressure here. That pressure was released, and then we got that step up of buying as well. So that's why I think that 142 a little bit interesting. I have no idea what it's going to do here, but I think it will be telling if we bounce.
Look at
boom,
Intel.
There it is. Bang,
why didn't we put
on
our
Intel.
money where our
Bye-bye.
mouth was?
There it is.
Holy cow, that was crazy, bro.
Reversion.
Yeah, man.
Of the best
It
kind.
displayed everything.
Just insta flush.
Intel.
The Intel, yeah, insta flush on that. Yeah.
It's worth noting that David Zinsner, as much as I'm like, yeah, he's not the current CEO of Intel, he has said things in the past, and I find him of Intel's management to be the most willing to run over to CNBC reporters, specifically Christina Partsinevelos, and just run his mouth about what he thinks Intel's doing. So that's one of the guys who's up here today. So he's a little bit loose-lipped, not in a bad way, but if anyone's going to kind of tell you what he feels about the business, it's him. So that could also be worth noting here with this Intel move.
So he's their ex-CEO?
Sorry, guys, for making you listen to this button again. So, because I know it beeps every time I come on. So he is their former co-interim CEO. I know it's very weird, but he and MJ Holthouse, when they got rid of Gelsinger at the end of 2024, they stepped in. He is still their CFO, and he was their CFO before he was interim co-CEO. But I think the fact that he was former interim co-CEO gives him maybe a little bit more clout in the world of Intel, because they clearly trusted him enough to give him that position. But yeah, I would say he's probably, in my opinion, the number 2 at Intel, just based on what we see of his interactions and his role and hierarchy in the business.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
That's thank
Blicky,
you very much for that.
Blicky, that's crazy, man.
What's happening?
No,
What's happening?
It's really selling here, man. The volatility is in on this bad boy. We can't get the break on Meta just yet. Not much going on NVDA, but Intel definitely seems to be the one. Also Palantir, in which you were talking about not too long ago, Obi. Some good indecision prints off of those lows. Listen to what the market has to tell you. And there it goes, bang. Palantir to the downside once again. Let's see if Intel is false. Are you winning? Not today, man. I came to an end of one of my green streak here. I mean, the day's not over. We're not going to count ourselves out just yet. The clock has to expire in order for me to do that. But right now, no, with no shame here. I could, unfortunately, I don't close every day green, and today it's not over yet. We don't want to count ourselves out.
I didn't hear no bell.
Yeah, exactly, no bell.
Come on. Zion Lala in the chat saying, I was just talking to him. He was talking about the ANF trade, saying great short, good price and right place to short. Yeah, man. I think that, yes, I replied to that. So if you guys can see, I'll just reiterate what I said. Yeah, it was a good price to sell at. But honestly speaking, if I actually traded it properly, my price should be much lower than 152s. If I traded this properly, I'm getting aggressive as it's working for me and really pounding it in below 150 and maybe even 145s as well. My average, honestly, by the time this is all the way down here, should be sitting below 147s. That's how aggressive I think I should be getting in this trade for the push below VWAP.
What is going on this?
I have no idea, but that's a lot of construction dudes.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see what. Yeah, I see you there. Okay, good. Nice one there, Fabian. All right, we see what you did. We see it.
I don't understand.
Is
it because the noise, the construction noise is happening?
I think so.
Yeah. Nice. I like it. DKS might see that 130 as we slowly but steadily creep up into those highs there. All day grind consolidation sideways around that 129. Bit of an orbit action there.
Look at the defense at VWAP here on Meta.
On Meta? What's happening?
Yeah, like it's really forming. And at this point, I do believe it might break down. Once this trend breaks, then we might be in a little bit of trouble and have to get out of this trade here, Obi. Yeah, that supply zone right here on what is it, 578.95, not looking too good. That clean flush. Oh, look at this print here on Palantir too. Obi bounce off of that one there. But yeah, that intel was a missed opportunity here. As we were talking about it, it just flushed moments later. So yeah, been a difficult day for me today too. But as you say, it ain't over until I say it's not over, till I say it's over. But yeah, unfortunately, in regards to risk measures, it will tell you when it's over. So especially if you stick to your stuff. So guys, even at home, make sure you have it connected with your platform and your broker, whether it be percentage loss or fixed dollar amount. Make sure that you have that that shutdown, because one day you will, and I don't wish this upon anybody, if you have strict risk rules where you only hit 75%, the reality of trading is that you will have a couple of losing days here and there. And
for sure,
that's the nature of the beast.
I mean, here's the thing. A lot of people, you got to be able to wrap your head around being able to lose when it comes to trading.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it took me a while to start to understand how and why, you know, people that win only 5% of the time or 10% of the time or 30% of the time can come out on top longer term.
That's crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's like, to be able to understand that math, it takes a while to kind of wrap your head around it. And I mean, especially when it comes to, you know, some sorts of like, algorithmic trading, that's some of the strategies that I'm trying to find, honestly, are the ones that lose more often, right? Because mentally speaking, like I ask myself, am I going to be able to take a type of trade where I'm losing over 90% of the time? How's that going to fare on my mental? Now, if it's very structural, it's a structural trade, and the procedure can be defined, then why not let something that is not human take over that specific kind of trading style? So I think that's definitely something important to remember and consider. Something I've been thinking about more often. So I ask you guys, do you guys know of any strategies that lose 90% of the time? Please let me know. I'm looking for them.
I'm sure you can. Well, why? Because you're gonna just look to take the opposite of that?
No. So what I'm saying is that what I'm learning is like so there are certain strategies that have a very high percentage of loss. So
but have a higher profit factor.
But when you win, when you win that 5% of the time, so you wouldn't be able to inverse it because it wouldn't make sense, because if you inversed it, that 5% of the time that you lose would absolutely blow you up, right? So it's like, you take losses. I don't even understand the question saying Ozan. Oh boy.
I want to touch on something here momentarily. Oh boy is right. A little tape action there. Now Blicky saying a tough one. Adam James saying a tough month. Now Adam, I told you this before. I truly believe if you hop on something, and I mentioned to you before in the chat, I think you'll be able to level up your game, right? That's just my opinion. I don't know. I'm not doing anything because I see the potential, or not the potential. You're doing certain things. You have a couple of losing streaks. Listen, I went through a streak where I was like, honestly, out of the past 10 trading sessions, like 7 of them could be red. And then sure enough, you go on your merry way where you start to turn the ship around. But again, in regards to you, I think you can, but you can do that with something else though, Adam. I'm telling you, I promise you, DM me on the side, I'll message you or whatever, and I'll tell you what's going on, because I truly, I know Meta's not going right now. We're going to send things over to Adair. Same thing with you, Blicky. Sweat it out, brush it off, and just learn from the losers as well. I think it's extremely important. Adair.
Couple stories quickly. I'll start with Google. Just seeing, according to their blog, they announced that they've selected 28 AI energy startups for an accelerator in North America and Europe. So, I mean, nice little AI energy accelerator there for Google. But here's a small cap, SHLS. I did see someone in our chat mention this. I just saw the news, though, come through for me now. So apparently this Shoals was awarded more than $96 million in damages after a jury found that a company called Voltage willfully infringed its patents. The court will also grant, or at least indicated that they will grant, a preliminary injunction blocking Voltages. So again, that's the competitors' Lynx product in the U.S. Now, apparently, the award, that $96 million, could actually be increased due to the fact that they found willfulness in the patent infringement. Now, SHLS is actually on the Russell 2000, $1.22 billion market cap, float of 165 million shares, 9% short float. Back to you.
Thank you for that. Yeah, what a flush down. I mean, you. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
MF Dangerous in the chat.
What do you say?
You got some jokes. I'm dying laughing here.
MF Dangerous.
It's so funny. It's just like.
So is Notorious Dinkleberg.
He was just like, because we were talking about like, you know, you got to be comfortable losing a lot of the time. He was like, where did he say? The way he worded it was absolutely funny here. I got to scroll higher. Yeah, he's like, get in, losers. We're going losing. I thought that was really funny. But yeah, no, it's tough to kind of wrap your head around that, and even like losing that many times in a row. I don't know how I would fare, and you know, it's easier to get fatigued as well. So we'll leave some of those strategies for the more mechanical of us. So yeah, Circle not really doing too much. ANF not really doing too much. It's holding this 142. Like I said, I don't expect this 142 to go right away, and I do want to formulate a secondary continuation trade here, maybe potentially underneath VWAP plus 145. But again, we'll have to see. That's all fun and nice to say. The market has to tell me exactly what I'm looking for as well, so for me to be like, all right, let's go, it's game on. Haven't seen any of that just yet. But yeah, where is the next trade? I like that SHLS that Dara just pointed out. Bit of a pullback as well, coming right back in. So we're seeing a few of these names now. Wow, Intel gave it all back and then just holding higher lows, I guess. So maybe the breakout was nice, but it came in a little too far too fast and started to settle down. Palantir, let's see what you're up to. Similar story, breakout of Palantir, pulls back into this prior high, and now just coasting, consolidating on top of that one. So nothing too much, guys. What are you guys up to? Intel back, yes, I see it. Too powerful, long. Anyone else load long calls on Broadcom? Asking Grunfeld. AVGO. Let's take a look at Broadcom. It's not one of the Mag 7s, but it's definitely up there along with the bunch and moves around pretty decently with them as well. So, what was the question there? Was it something about a long on AVGO there? Let's go back and look at the chart here. Long Intel saying Mohammed in the chat. Yeah, maybe we'll see. 87 halves right now. Okay, Kraken, convexity goes a step further. As the trade works, your potential payoff increases faster than your remaining downside. That's a convex payoff profile. Yes, okay, I understand. Nice.
All right, Cheese in the Chair, before we send it off to the guys, Cheese in the Chair, $5 super chat. 95% loss rate was the title of my book about dating back in college. Man, don't do that to yourself. don't do that to yourself.
Hey, I mean, did you find yourself a wife? Because that 5% win rate,
man, that's
gives you a lifelong win, right? Come on.
Don't do yourself like that, man. 95% was my success rate getting in and out of college.
Nice. GG's.
All right, man.
How I go?
There we go. All right. Bang. Yeah, ooh is right. We'll hit the...
All right, guys.
See you laughing up a storm over there.
Another great day.
Oof is right. All right, guys. Another great day from you, Obi. What happened?
I was just reading.
Slow motion, Joe?
No. What was did the?
Bye, Joe. See ya, hangry white.
Oh, I think it got held for review or something. One of the messages. That's funny. First, yeah, I said GG's. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys all. All right, let's go.
Yeah, I think it's good day once again. We'll see you guys soon enough, but don't go anywhere, guys. You got the big boys at the main desk coming through to take you off into the close. Just a couple hours left, so good luck and Godspeed with the rest of your trading.
See you guys
tomorrow.
Hey, welcome back.